5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're live! Hello all, welcome back to the Invictus stream! My name as always is Mr. Harlan Guthrie, and I am here with my lovely brother, Mr. Alex.
What's me? Thank you very much, folks, for having us here tonight.
The wonderful Joe Fallak.
Hello.
And the incomparable Justin Thomas James. And we are here for the first time in 2018 to bring you episode 1 of Chapters of the Undefeated. That's right, this is the epic D&D 5e campaign that Joe and Justin have been expertly crafting together with you, the community, to build something that is going to be long-standing, excellent, and so fucking exciting. Yeah. Woo. I hope you guys are as pumped for this as we are. We are doing a long progression of characters where we're going to be leveling up, playing them over a number of games, over a number of weeks and months, and it is just something that we've been so excited to do. And 2018 is going to be one for the record books, isn't that right, Justin?
Oh, yeah, it really is. Back to you, Harlan.
Thanks, Justin. What about you, Alex? How you doing over there in New Jersey?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic over here in New Jersey. How's it going over there in New Jersey as well?
Not too bad. How's it going over there in New Jersey on the East Shore, Joe? Pretty good over there. She's eating broccoli or cauliflower. I don't know what that was. But Chapters of the Undefeated, 2018, brand new stuff. It is, of course, an 18+ show. If you do not feel comfortable with no words and pee-pee poo-poos, then you go ahead and you can turn off the... Alex is frantically trying to get his 18+ warning right now.
I am.
This is like
frantically.
I didn't know this was 18+, guys. I'm gonna have to go.
It's okay.
I've got to.
Oh, look at that brand new 2018 18+.
Content may contain mature subject matter, which may include, but is not limited to, strong language, described violence, described nudity and sexuality, described grisly images, and other elements that may not be suitable for some
Described nudity.
It's all described.
This is pure discretion is advised.
That's right. If you're not comfortable with all of that described stuff, then you go ahead and you close the video. We will understand completely. But before you do, you make sure to like the video. Like it, subscribe, share it. If this video tickles your fancy, you go ahead and you send it to your favorite podcasts or your favorite friends, or bring it to your mom's house in a DVD format and say, here, and fiddle with the DVD player for like an hour and say, wait a minute, this is a VHS player, Mom. Whatever you want to do, you just share, because that makes us feel really good. And these guys have worked so hard on it that we want to share. We want to be part of your world.
Wow.
That's right. So 18+ was whatever that was. If this is the first time you're watching it on YouTube, welcome. This is the perfect video to start at. Please join the Facebook group. The link is in the description, and you can go on Facebook and search the INVICTUS stream, 3 words, and you can find our page and our group. Like the page and join the group. The group is where all the cool people hang out. It's where me and Joe and Justin and Alex and fucking David. David. Thank God for David. David.
Is that like
David?
David.
Those aren't my nipples, but I had to do it because you can't see if I do my real nipples.
David.
This is called acting.
David.
But this is where David hangs out, and we gotta pump brakes on this David worship, because people are gonna be like, huh? But yeah, it's where all the cool people hang out, and if you want to be a cool person, you join the group. We will approve you and invite you, and probably shout out to you during this game, just because we're that sweet. Also, you can share ideas that you've had for role-playing games, or games you want to try, or suggestions for board games, or just share whatever's going on in your life. It is a place, a community of friends and family, so please consider joining. It is such a great place to hang out. And when you do join, you earn a chance to win the MVP, which is the most valuable post.
Whoa!
Wrong trumpet sound. That's right. 2 trumpets. Two totally different feelings. The MVP, the most valuable post, is the post of the week that we pick to sort of celebrate and commemorate. Celebrate the person or persons who sort of were the most inspiring, the most fun, typically the most geared towards what we're actually talking about. And this week, I would like to reward it to Mr. Jake Ortega.
Whoa!
That's right. My dudes, who literally always comes on being like, hey dudes, my dudes. He is the dude. I'm a dude, she's a dude, we're all dudes. And Jake is the dude.
Yes.
So thank you, Jake. He had a very simple question.
Nobody's less than Jake.
No one's less than Jake. He came on with a very simple question asking, what your favorite TV show was. And it was very simple. It's as simple as that. But everyone talked and commented on it, and everyone shared their favorite, and it gave me a lot of awesome stuff to look forward to watching. So well done, Jake. It's that easy. Special shout out to anonymous guy who commented on our video and said, Harlan is gay. There is nothing wrong with it if he is, but just stop flaunting it. It makes people uncomfortable. And to answer this guy's question, which obviously that was a question, yes, maybe. Give me a call and we'll see what's up. I think that's a bit of repressed sexuality this man has dealt with for a long time, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. But, keep commenting. Maybe we'll start something. It'll be a good time for you and me. You get MVP of my heart.
MVP. We've got to make a new section on the sheet. MVP of my heart.
That's MVP of my heart sound effects, the Law and Order, because that's how my heart works. So shout out to you, buddy.
You should get that checked
Anonymous
out.
dude.
Gung, gung.
In my heart.
That's right. Finally, I want to mention a huge thank you to everybody who has been playing so well with the chapters of the Undefeated community campaign that our boy Justin Thomas James has been working so tirelessly on.
Thank you.
It has been freaking amazing. Do you want to give us a little bit of maybe a dive into that, and maybe a little bit of a pitch for what people can be expecting for the future so that they come out and play?
Totally. So Chapters of the Undefeated isn't just about our Wednesday night games. Sure, we're going to have our own party and our own group and leveling up ourselves. But this campaign creates the opportunity for you guys, the viewers, to create your own D&D characters. And you don't have to actually make a specific D&D sheet if you don't want to. You can just make a cool name and say you're under a certain house and you can join. And you'll be able to join in weekly missions. And we had our very first weekly community play-by-post mission this past Monday. And I'm very excited to announce that it was successful. A few people came and helped us out and did some amazing rolls, did some amazing role playing. And it was a ton of fun. So thank you for everybody who came out on Monday. And we're going to be doing it again on this coming Monday at 4 p.m. EST. It's kind of a strange time, but it works for a lot of people. And I would love it if you could join us and role play and explore the land of Cherville with us some more.
And if you're still thinking about joining and you haven't joined a house yet, can I just say that House Vorsi is really looking for recruits. Almond Vorsi is sending out missives into the countryside, and if you like to join Team Grey, if you feel like maybe you're from the beachy parts of the world, come and join House Vorsi.
May I also say that House Bryden, one of God and strength, is looking for strong and able-bodied people who believe in faith and love and compassion and hard work to join House Bryden. Join Team Red, because red is a pretty neat color sometimes. I mean, I like it, but... Alex,
and
you
if you want to go with yellow, feel free to go with yellow as well, because yellow's mellow, baby.
Do you want to join this fine fellow? Join red. That's right. You can join up with different houses, and there's a lot of cool stuff. House Vorsi is this beautiful city right next to the water on stilts, and it's so cool. And we're going to hear a lot about it tonight. And the house. How do you say Artekris? Artekris is this mountainous region within the sort of the high peaked mountains, and there's like bridges and stuff like that. You have beautiful landscapes.
It's a beautiful mountainous region, high up, with towering fortresses that just teeter on the edge of chasms. It's beyond beauty, and it's full of the natural world.
And House Bryden is large, plains of the blood fields where a rare rose grows and ancient battles, one of the oldest counties in the entire land. So if you want to join any of these houses, you can do it. You don't have to all join Justin's and Chris's.
Anyone else? Actually, in the Discord right now, I'm going to add a world map that I just finished. It is not very well detailed because we are going to discover lots about the world, and you're going to help build the canon as we are on stream every week. So that's really exciting.
I will also add a map of my place too.
Oh yeah, do it. Everybody put maps when you get them ready.
Everybody do it.
I am going to also put in the Discord where you can sign up for the Undefeated, your character. Again, you don't actually have to have your own D&D character sheet. If you don't have the D&D books, or you don't feel like going to orcpub.com, which does it all for free, just sign up a character, sign up the name. You don't need all the info and stuff. So here is the enrollment sheet on Discord right now.
Look at all this stuff on Discord. If you know the Discord, you make sure you go join it, because it's where the cool people hang out. It's very nice. It's very beautiful.
Beautiful.
The fuck accent was that?
Discord.
Beautiful.
All right. I think that's everything from the pregame show. I might do a spooky stream this weekend. If I'm doing it this weekend, I am playing Sanoa's Sacrifice, Hellblade.
Oh yeah,
fucking game. Haha, Daddy loves you. Daddy loves you. Is that what we're doing? No, Big Will.
Get home, put you in your bassinet. Will Smith.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh hey.
Getting jiggy with it.
For the look, I don't bite it.
M-I-E-A-M-E-A-M-E.
Not really smoking cigars. All
Miami.
right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I think we're ready to kick this shit off. What say you, community?
I think they want to kick it off.
I think they do. I can hear some people in the audience.
Hark!
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 Oh.
A Harlan angel sings. Okay, fine. All right, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen. What's this called? Chapters.
Chapters.
Of the Undefeated. Here we go.
It is late spring. 4 travelers trudge a road. There's buds just opening up on all the branches all around. New birds. They're chirping. You know, there's like slush on the ground. You're seeing crocuses and late spring flowers poke their heads through the loam. The late spring slush on the road makes the sound of footsteps echo through the relative stillness. 4 travelers on this road, none other. You look ahead and it just seems like the road goes on forever. Who are we looking at on this road?
My name is Graham Hereward, a cleric from the county of Vale. A simple man, quiet at times, thoughtful, considerate for the most part. Try my best to lead a godly life. And as I look over to my new friends, I wonder what's on their mind as we walk this quiet road. And I say, Quintus, seems awfully quiet in these parts, no?
Well, there's a few birds chirping, and I hear a few animals, but no, it is quite quiet, I suppose. I haven't really been paying too much attention, to be honest. I've been caught in my own thoughts. And Quintus Grey is my name. And I am a half-elf. I'm also mixed. My father has dark black skin, and my mother, well, bless her soul, she's dead, but she is an elf with pale, pale white skin. And I have hair that seems to explode in all directions. And I'm only about 20 years old. And pretty much everything here in the wilderness is amazing to me, because I've never actually left the county of Holston before. You see, I'm a bastard. The bastard of Tertius Lancaster himself. And he's never let me travel, out of fear of what the world would do to me, until the Undefeated came about. And now, I'm a part of them. I was able to convince him to leave. I don't know. Are you feeling like something's gonna happen, Graham?
Well, I don't know exactly. I want to think these woods are as quiet as they've always been, but perhaps in my old age I'm just a bit more nervous. You and your young blood, ready and eager to fight. Me and my old bones, more nervous about what might be around the next bend. Graham Hereward is an older man in his 50s, grey hair and a grey beard. He walks with a slight limp, holding his cane, his bow on his back. On his shield, which is also slung on his back, houses the symbol, the sigil, of Alistar, his deity. A powerful being, one who carries the fire, and Graham carries the fire just like anyone else of his religion. He looks towards...
Tado, you are halfway, well, almost all the way across the country from where you grew up. Have you ever been to Duluth County?
That's right. I am halfway across the world from my home. The mountains of Gregorion. I'm farther than I've ever been before, for I am a tiefling, and around every corner there's something or someone that's staring at me with distrust or judging eyes. These companions of mine, they seem friendly enough, but can they really be trusting? I don't know. All I know is that we are all in this together, in this land of Chevril, full of beasts that live in the chasms below our great city of House Artacris. They are rising without any fear, unlike before. And so I travel with this band. Graham, Leah, Quintus, not knowing what I could be facing. What about you, Leah? Aren't you far from home, or no?
Well, yes, I am, I suppose, far from home, but, you know, I feel like the four of us are very capable companions. Leah looks around the woods. The four of us haven't spoken to each other in a good couple of hours, and so the silence is kind of shattered by our speech. She's a halfling girl. She's wearing a blue long traveling cloak, and then on top of that, the brown cloak of the Undefeated that we are all dressed in similarly, that we were outfitted with. Her full name is Amophilia Moongazer. She comes from the county of Raosin County, which is on the southern coast, adjacent actually to House Lancaster's Holston County. So she's familiar with the elves and half elves of the beach, but her county is very different from these lands. She carries an arcane symbol. It's all shells, bits of coral, things that she dredged up from the tide, and it kind of clinks as she walks.
I too carry an arcane focus. It is my quarterstaff with this glowing ball of crystal at the end.
You know, I've got to say, I'm actually feeling pretty lucky right now. You know, I've never actually witnessed magic before. I've read about it, in the books that my tutor made me read, but I haven't actually seen somebody. And here I am with 2 people that obviously know how to use magic. And Graham, what is it that you do?
Well, the magic's not mine. It is Alistair's. I only channel it. And
Hey, well, then 3 people who do magic.
no,
Kinda
it's
cuts you off.
it's not my magic. And Graham sort of hangs back and sort of he enjoys the quiet of the woods, and he sort of longs for the hour of silence that we had just broken. And he sort of hangs to the edge of the woods and continues walking, looking deep into them.
Oh, well, this is absolutely fantastic. But I'm curious, Tados, you come all the way from the east. That's amazing.
That's right.
In the
And
mountains.
That's right. And what about you, Quintus? For
Yeah.
where do you come from?
It pretty much looks like this. Holston, on the western shores to the west. I'm being redundant because I'm a little bit nervous. I've never met one of your kind before. And you, Leah, have you ever been to Holston before?
No, I've had to stay pretty close to home, you know, help with the family business and everything. So, I mean, apart from the fact that we all had to travel up to Vale County for our training, mostly I just been in Raosin County. I got to see the House Vorse's beautiful fortress. Was really something, but I have so much to learn. What kind of trees are these?
What is your family's business, dear? You said you had to, and Graham perks up. You said that you had to work for your parents. What do they do?
Yeah, well, a lot of us in Raosin County blend the arcane traditions with a more of like a farming and a agricultural bent. But because of the bounties of the sea, we have the opportunity to do a lot of fishing and trapping. So we were in the clam and lobster businesses. So I learned how to do some arcane mending. You know, I'm very good with rope tricks and those kinds of things, and a fog cloud.
Show me. I want to see. I've never seen a rope trick before. You didn't show me this in training.
All right. Hold on a minute.
Right here. Hold on, Graham. Wait here. She's gonna show us something cool.
And Graham sort of lulls to a stop and turns us. I appreciate the interest, Quintus, and Leah, I understand you're excited, but I think maybe we should continue on this road. Tados,
oh, Graham, it's just going to take a second. And so Leah, she gets her backpack off of her shoulder and she starts rustling in it for the length of hempen rope that she carries with her.
And as she does that, Graham's going to look towards down the road and sort of just do a perception roll without rolling.
Well, you have a passive perception that's very high, and we were talking about this before the show started. You have a passive perception of 20. So you will automatically notice things that otherwise would be lost upon the 3 of us. Mm-hmm. And indeed, is it Tados or Tados?
Tados.
As Tados, Quintus, and Leah gather around Leah, she's showing you the magic of a slipknot. Graham, you realize that down the road the birds have stopped singing.
And at first the reaction Graham is to turn to the others and sort of say something, but he's also very self-conscious and timid in a way, and feels like maybe he's being a bit of an old man and a bit of a fuddy, and he kind of wants them to have fun. So he sort of ignores it and he turns back towards looking down the road rather than let them know that the birds have stopped.
By the realm. That's absolutely amazing. Tados, did you see that?
It's a simple trick, really. She's doing the one where it appears like the rope is in 2 different pieces, but then actually a fisher girl would never cut a rope unnecessarily. You always untie, never cut.
Okay, fantastic. Hey, Tados, can you do anything like that?
Well,
magic.
Before I respond, do I notice the birds up ahead of us stop singing?
What's your passive perception? It should be 10 plus your perception skill.
It is. Passive perception is 10.
No, not great. Not a very perceptive tiefling.
Okay.
So if you would say that your character notices Graham is keeping watch and you find that unusual, I would argue you could make a perception roll if you wanted. That is your character actively trying to perceive something.
Nah, I was interested in the conversation at hand here, and being that Quintus piped up and said that he'd never experienced anything like this, I would like to.
You gonna pull out a cantrip?
I am. My thaumaturgy cantrip.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And as I point up, I say,
So you think that is a good trip?
and what about this? And I point up towards the top of the trees, and ravens. You just hear the cry of several ravens. They're all like, ah, 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 ah.
And that sort of stirs Graham, who's been looking down the road and noticing that the birds have stopped. And immediately he turns and says, "Stop, no, don't do that." And he looks back down the road and says, "There were no birds up ahead a moment ago. Quiet." And he listens intently
yes,
again.
Of course.
Is there something the matter, Graham?
I don't... It sounds like something up ahead has stopped the birds from crying.
Quintus slowly grabs his spear off his back and brings it down, holds his shield in his left hand.
And Graham sort of sees that and says, No, it could just be passers-by. I don't think that's... And he continues walking down the road towards the bend.
Graham, as you continue toward the bend in the road, you hear the telltale snap of a twig having been stepped on to your left.
And
somewhere in the brush.
I freeze and I turn and I sort of search the brush for where the sound came from.
Yes, but don't you think that I should have my spear out in case something happens?
No, quiet.
What?
And do I see anything?
You do. There's a figure moving just off the road, maybe 15 feet away from you, and it's trying to stay low to the ground. Have you ever seen goblins before?
Graham has, yeah.
Graham, you've seen goblins. You recognize the outline of a goblin sneaking up
And
towards
without
you.
saying anything,
And
I turn back
with
to
the passive
Quintus.
perception, you hear a similar rustle, like the snow dropped off a branch.
And Graham turns back to Quintus, who was sort of putting away the spear, and he stops and shakes his head and says, "We will need it." And he points to the direction of the sound that felt like something dropping off the branch, and he points to where he just heard. And slowly draws his bow.
Your longbow,
Yes.
for sure.
Here we go. We're doing this. Are we fighting that? What is it?
And
Quintus.
you hear a little chitter. It is not a bird sound coming
Quintus.
from right behind where our group is.
What?
Quintus,
seems
you
like-
seem as though you're ready for action. Is this part of your land? Constant ready for battle?
And Graham breaks the silence and says, "Goblins. There'll be one over there, and maybe two this way. Everyone ready?"
No. Well, Tados, I mean, Holston is known for their soldiers. And the Cobalt Guard, I mean, they're amazing, but no, I wasn't trained by them. I've just heard about them and read about them in stories, and I'm ready to be like one of them.
Well, I'm looking forward to experiencing your powerful weapon usage.
As I turn, holding my bone quarterstaff with a crystal at the tip.
And as we share compliments, 5 goblins crawl out of the brush onto the road and stand at the ready. They all have weapons drawn, and we should all roll initiative, unless you want to talk to them.
Actually, it's not a bad idea. What were we walking down this road for?
Well, you are in this county at the request of the Undefeated. Essentially, you have been charged with promoting peace and basically bringing all of the other counties into line with the Undefeated. So we are trying to keep the peace, and we are trying to bring people to the order.
Then I think we definitely... I
For
would
the
try to talk to them.
viewers, which county would you say we're in here?
We are
Number-wise.
in County 3, I believe. Let me just double
cool.
check on the map. No, sorry, we're in County number 2,
Okay, cool.
and that is called Duluth County, ruled by House Naresh. We would know the Baroness Yvonne Naresh to be the leader of this
Okay.
county.
So based on our peace mission, I think Graham would try to speak to them as they came out.
Okay. What do you want to say? His 5 goblins come out. Obviously, they stealthed around the party, and they're all brandishing weapons. Go.
Yeah. Does anyone speak Goblin? I don't think I do. I never picked my other language though.
But I would like to use this same thaumaturgy, which gives me like this powerful feeling where I can create a booming sound, like thunder with my voice.
Yeah, you're like an AV dude with thaumaturgy. Like you can create effects and shit.
Okay, cool. So yeah, using that, the clouds above us darken slowly. It's almost like Lord of the Rings part when Gandalf pulls out his crazy shit in front of Bilbo, and he's like, and I say, "Be careful who you approach," as as my voice booms and echoes through the wilderness around us.
Interesting. So you're making essentially what kind of
intimidation?
You want to roll intimidation? I'll give you advantage for that thaumaturgy.
Sure. So I have a +3. What am I rolling? A 20?
If you're rolling 2d20 and taking the higher.
Okay, so 14 plus a 3.
Nicely done. I'm going to roll to see how the goblins are going to react to that. Yeah, 2 of the 5 look at each other and kind of back up into the woods and disappear.
And I look at Quintus and I kind of give him this sly grin.
That was you? Ah, fantastic. Out bloody standing. And I put my spear on my back and I wipe my hands.
Well, that was only 2 of them, and Graham turns to where the other 2, but he does give a nod to Tados as well. How do you say it? Tados?
Tados.
Tados.
Yeah,
impressed as well.
Your sleeve. Graham, what are these creatures?
The goblins. Ready your weapon. And I turn to the other 2 and I say, "Listen, friends, you do." And I try to play off of Tados's kind of line and say, "You do not want to mess with us. We are on a peacekeeping mission, but we will draw your blood if we need to."
Yes, one of them says.
Oh, yes. I thought that was Leah.
Blood being drawn. Yes. And it walks up to you with its weapon drawn, and it's going to try to stab you.
Stab me! Do it.
To fight, Graham. They're not going to listen to you.
As I turn to Quintus and say, "Hey, you might have put your spear away too early."
What's your AC?
Oh, wait, I'm not British.
13.
Yeah, so it walks up to you and you just watch it walk up to you, and it tries to get in between you and your ribs, and you just kind of like step aside.
I say, and I continue saying whatever I was saying because that would have been my turn.
That's all I need to see. And I run forward with my spear and try to jab one of the goblins.
Yeah, let's roll initiative.
What is initiative? Dexterity?
You roll d20 and you add your dex.
Dexterity, okay.
1d20 and not... So did I roll 2d20 because you gave me the advantage last time?
Correct.
Okay. Add dex.
I have 21 to advantage.
Nice.
To initiative.
All right. I got a 4 for my initiative.
So you spent a long time taking your spear out of it.
That's all I need to see.
And I have an 8.
Leah rolled a hearty 1. So that's a 4 with her dex. Graham, you get to go
How
first.
did you roll a 1? Plus
I'm
your dex is
using
3.
Straight up real dice. If
I'm
that's
gonna-
what you mean, why am I not on it?
No. You added. I see.
I originally pulled out my bow, but I feel like I would have put it back when I tried to charisma them.
Sure.
So instead, I'm going to cast Sacred Flame.
Ooh.
I've
Tell me
never
all about it.
ever cast a spell ever in any role-playing game.
Guys, this is so exciting.
This is groundbreaking.
So I am going to roll.
This calls
well,
for
one. Yeah. So I'm just gonna add my spell attack bonus.
Well, let me look up Sacred Flame because I believe it's got a pretty big area of effect.
Oh shit. Okay, then maybe I won't do that.
Might be interested. Well, we'll see because it's like a whole bunch of radiant energy comes from the sky and smites these fools.
What?
Sacred
This is a cantrip?
Flame.
Fools.
Oh, it's just one target. Great.
Yeah, okay,
so
good.
it has to succeed on a dex saving throw or take 1d8 radiant damage.
Okay.
Does a 12 succeed?
I haven't rolled it yet.
I rolled.
Oh, he rolls it. Sorry, my spell save DC is 13.
Nice. So you got him.
Yeah!
You
Nice.
you smote him.
Okay, so then I add my spell attack bonus.
No, you do not. You just
No.
roll your 1d8.
Perfect. And I got a 7.
Nice. What does it look like when you burn this goblin to a crisp?
Perfect. Okay, so following... Oh, John Lombardo, by the way, just joined the Invictus stream group. Well done, John. Welcome.
Oh, welcome, John.
Someone already added it. I
Were
saw
you
it.
the one?
Okay, good.
It was me.
It was you. Okay, so the goblins walked out, and you scared the first ones away, Tados. And then as this one walked up, and Leo was like, "What are these?" And I was like, "The goblins."
I tried to stab you.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. I still said to him, I said, "You do not want to mess with us," or whatever. And then it tried to stab me, and I sidestep it, and sort of hesitantly, but with a bit of underlying anger, Graham extends his hand as flames lick the tips of his fingers, and he just touches the creature's skull very quickly, and a burst of flame shoots out and crisps the creature as it screams in the small woods. And again, it's sort of like giving into a bit of anger as Graham sort of feels it and clenches his teeth. And as the creature falls before his feet, he breathes again and looks towards the other one. Do not fight us.
So that's 3, and there's 2 left, correct?
Well, I believe, 2 ran away.
Were there 4 or 5?
and-
One's burnt.
There was 5, so 1 burned. There's two more dudes. They have been standing about 10 feet away from you, kind of on either side of the road. And they're going to try to get you with some arrows, Graham. And both of them miss, as
And so-
goblins are wont to do.
2 arrows come flying by, and I turn to Leah and I say, "Quickly, get down." Whatever you say.
So Leah hits the deck. She sits in a mud puddle, and then the 2 goblins run in opposite directions.
Away?
Yep. Tados, it's your turn. Tados, sorry, it's your turn.
It's okay. I look at Graham.
Do we persist?
And I turn back towards him. Not, it's your call, but no, if they're leaving. Are they fleeing, does it look like?
I mean, it's kind of like pretty thick scrubland around here.
Yeah.
So despite the fact that there aren't really any leaves on the trees, they're small creatures. It's hard to see what's going on, but they've definitely run away.
To me, it'd be like, no, Graham's not a fighter. Turns back and you'd say, let them be.
And then, being the chaotic creature that I am, I've already made up my mind, even though I asked. So I do pursue, and pull out my crossbow.
Cool. You going
Guess
left or
that
right?
would be my... I go right.
Okay.
So I think that's my whole move, right? Is pursue and pull out my crossbow. I don't think I have it.
If you didn't have your crossbow out already, because you were talking about having your staff, so definitely, you can get your maximum speed up in the bush, which means the goblin is about 10 feet away from you. You can see him plainly.
Okay.
Quintus.
So I see them run. I see the tiefling take off after them. And I figure the battle's already over. So I shout in the air, "That's right, you better run! Go tell your chieftain that we're here for peace! Don't try to attack us again, all right? As soon as you want to speak, you come to us."
And Graham sits up again, wiping the mud, and helps Leah up and says, "You didn't have to get down necessarily. I'm a bit cautious in my old age, and you're so innocent in this world."
For sure. Tados, do you want backup?
I scream back, "Sure!"
And Leah goes, I'm going after him. And she runs her 25 feet that she can do. Plainly sees this goblin. Well,
You
fairly
left or
plainly.
right?
Let me see if I can perceive this gobbo. Yeah, I did great. So I'm coming your way. We're both going right.
Okay, cool.
I see this dude, and I'm going to cast Firebolt at him. It's one of my cantrips. I hit him. And I'm going to roll damage. I dealt 6 damage to this goblin. He looks like he has approximately 1 hit point left. So I burn an arm off and part of his face. And then Leah goes, ah!
They like scream at each other like,
yeah. Graham, it's your turn.
And Graham's still sort of just like standing up and dusting his legs as he sees Leah run off and cast the firebolt. And he looks back down the road towards where we're heading and kind of looks towards the two in the woods and shakes his head. And I'll search the burnt goblin corpse in front of me.
Okay. You find, what did I say?
He shakes his head not in a disappointing way, just like I'll let them deal with it.
You find 6 silver and 8 copper pieces.
Sweet.
But everything else is burnt beyond recognition.
6 silver and 8 copper?
Correct.
Cool.
It's the Gobbo's turn. The goblin who is who's in front of Tados and Leah is going to try to stab Tados with his short sword. Or with his scimitar, rather. And that is a 22 to hit.
Holy shit. So
Which does, yes. 3 damage.
So, do I have to roll anything for my AC?
Nope. Your AC is a set number, unless you're going to be adding like a shield to it, whether that's a magical shield or a physical shield. I don't think you took shield.
So he just does 3 damage, period?
Yeah, so you have a max HP of 9, I believe.
Yeah.
So now your current hit points are 6, and you don't change your maximum hit points. That just stays.
No, I'm just going to put temporary.
Mm-hmm.
Ow! I say, you little demon!
And I grab his head. It's my turn, yeah?
No, the other goblin is who's on the left side is going to try to fire an arrow at Quintus. And a 22 hits, I presume.
It does.
And so the arrow sinks into your side and deals 6 damage to you.
Holy crap.
Jeez.
I thought you said you were running. All right. Got to do something about this. Graham, help me out here. I'm hurting a bit. Ugh.
Now it is Tados' turn.
I grab the head of the goblin that's standing in front of me, and I cast my Shocking Grasp cantrip.
Ooh.
So I have to make a melee spell attack.
Great. So roll a d20 and then add your spellcasting modifier.
Okay, so that would be a 14
plus your charisma mod plus your proficiency bonus.
Spell casting modifier, so 5. So
Great.
19.
Yeah, you hit.
Okay, and then it does on a hit, the target takes a 1d8 lightning damage.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm gonna roll a 1d8 and do.
Do you do 1 or more hit points?
Oh fuck!
Because then it's dead.
I rolled a 20 and an 8.
Great. What did your 8 get?
So the 8 got a 5.
Great. You overkilled him by 4.
Yeah.
So he burns to a crisp, much in the same manner as Graham did with his divine energy, but yours is a little bit like Star Wars-y when it happens. It's like electrocuted.
and he goes kind of flying like you do when you touch an electrical 12,000 volt electricity.
As you do.
In a movie. Not in real life, but in a movie.
Yes.
Pop, and there's like popping and fizzing, yeah.
Leah's like, oh my god. Quintus, it's your turn.
All right, so I run forward with purpose in my step, and I say, I'm going to do something to you that your mother's not going to want to see. And I get close, and I shout at him because I can't get to him, right, in attack?
Yeah, so your speed is 30.
Not gonna want to see.
He's 40 feet away from you.
And my speed is 30.
You can hurl your spear at him.
I could do that, but what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to get 30 feet and I'm going to say, you're supposed to run away You better now, or I'm gonna take you out and poke your eyes out too. And I'm gonna try to intimidate him.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here. Through. I only got a 4. So it's not enough.
He blows a raspberry at you.
Cute.
Graham!
And
Because
Graham,
he sees that he stuck you with an arrow. You can't be that tough.
That's true.
and he's pretty much dead. So Graham turns around. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Leah's turn.
It's Leah's turn. She just runs out of the bush and tries to high five you.
Who?
You.
And I take it as a minor action. Yeah, but he kind of like does it in like a, and he kind of takes it. Well done.
Now it's your
Leah.
turn.
And he turns back to see Quintus, an arrow sticking out of his leg, and he sees the goblin. Is the goblin within 60 feet of me?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Then he sort of, almost pained, sort of looks down and turns and extends the same hand, and I'm going to cast Sacred Flame again, because it's a cantrip, you said, right?
It is. So I'm going to make another dex save.
He's...
Oh, not good. That's a 4.
Okay, so it hits.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And then
Roll damage, 1d8.
8 will be a 6.
Okay, so you just about fry this other guy.
Okay. And I will turn to...
you do. You fry him very much.
Yeah. But I don't kill him.
No.
That's fine. So I cast it again, and this time the Sacred Flame comes down from, like, the sky, I guess? Is that how it works?
Yeah, it essentially just comes down from heaven.
Perfect. And
This light,
it
this creep.
flashes bright light from the woods to the side of you, Quintus. And and the creature falls over, and I said, he's just about ready to be finished off. He's all yours. And I turn around to Leah, and I kind of do the same thing, kind of mimicking, like, yeah, one of these again.
Yeah! He jumps up and high fives you.
And he sort of...
It's the goblin's turn, and he kind of looks around, and he's like, oh, singed to pieces, and he tries to fire another arrow at Quintus.
Do it. Give me your best shot.
14?
That doesn't hit. I block it with my shield and growl. You should have ran.
And he does. He runs 30 more feet away from you.
All right.
So he's 40 feet away. It is Tados' turn. You are in the middle of the bush, Tados, on the other side of the road.
And I return back to where we were originally standing. I walk back. And is there anybody standing there?
Yeah, Graham and Leah are hanging out.
And I turn to them and I say,
That goblin is a persistent little bastard, chasing the other bastard.
This is kind of fun.
Taking a life is
Says
never
Leah.
fun, Leah. And I turned to Tados and I said, just let him go.
He'll tell his friends they'll come after us.
So will the other
Plus,
two
it's
that
not
we
me.
already... So will
Plus,
the other
it's
two
not
that
me.
we already left out. 2 already left here.
Quintus.
Fair enough.
I'm not chasing anybody.
Do whatever
I'm
you
just
want.
standing here, Graham.
and that's the end of my turn.
Yeah. Quintus. There's a goblin 40 feet away from you who's taking pot shots.
All right, you little green savage. And I pull out my hand crossbow. I drop my spear to the ground and I pull out my hand crossbow and I load it. And I fire at him.
All right.
Because you know what? I would like to do this toe to toe like men or like strong women or regular women. But here we are, you 40 feet away from me and you're just going to keep running. So this is the only option I have. And I'm going to do it. All right, that's a 15.
Yeah, you hit exactly.
All right. And now,
You don't have to roll damage.
There's no way you can do less than 1, yeah.
you never know.
Yeah,
The way
so
the
he's
spells
kind of
do
like, and then you get him right between the shoulder blades, and he just
Like that scene from Army of Darkness.
whatever that means.
And I grab my spear off the ground and I trudge over to him and I pull my bolt out of his back. And I check him for loot. All good over here.
You find 4 silver and 4 copper pieces.
All right.
And I mentioned to the others that I found 6 silver and 8 copper on this one as well.
Oh, I forgot to check the other one, I say.
It might be worth going back and checking. We're still waiting here by the road, and I think Quintus might need some aid. And I walk over to you, Quintus.
I do.
Yeah, if you want to go back, Tados, you can check
Yeah.
that body.
Yeah, I do.
It's-
While Graham's talking.
3 silver, 8 copper. If anyone wants to equip themselves with shitty goblin weapons, feel free, but they're nothing special.
I walk over to, I have cure wounds, obviously, but that's sort of a big one. Is there any other way to heal somebody?
Yes. So if we take an hour to just chill, that's considered a short rest. During that time, you can expend hit dice, which are a resource that everyone has. At first level, we all have 1 hit dice. So the magic users typically have a d6. I don't remember if clerics have a d6 or a d8.
I have a d8.
Yes. So you can choose to roll 1d8 and regain those hit points back. So at a higher level, if you're 5th level, you're going to have 5d8. You can choose to say, oh, I'll roll 2d8 on this short rest, and I'll regain that many hit points. That's just like you taking a breath, bandaging your wounds.
Well, you know what? For a role-playing sense, Graham will walk over to you, and he'll take a look at you and say, Quintus, you're looking like you're hurt a little bit. Do you need some aid?
No, I'm absolutely fine. Damn it, who'd have thought an arrow would hurt so much? That's the first time I've been shot. It doesn't feel good at all, Graham. Not at all.
Come here. And he walks you to the center near Leah and near Tados as he walks back. And he says, sit on the road for a moment.
Yes. Let's regain our strength, shall we?
I'm going to... How much health did you lose, Tados?
3. So I'm okay, because I'm going to try and just recover here.
Well, I'm going to... Instead of waiting, I'm going to cure his wounds.
Oh, okay.
And
Leah brushes all of the mud off of her while all this is happening.
And I say, Alistair, please grant me the power to heal my friend. Grant me the power to cure his wounds. And I hold my hands over the arrow, and I slowly sort of pull it out.
Yes, Alistair, do it. Do what he says, please.
And it comes out. I rub my hands over your wound. Alistair, grant me the power. I carry the fire in my hands. I am your vessel. And as I rub it, the wound becomes warm, and you can feel the blood begin drying. So how do I actually cast this?
So you just cast it. You roll, I believe it's 1d8, and you add your spell ability modifier, which for you as a cleric is wisdom. You don't add your proficiency.
3. Sorry, so 6 points. So well, that's perfect. That's what you took. So I roll it, and there's sort of like a red glowing that comes from my hands as I kind of breathe, and as I reveal my hands, your wound is all but healed completely. And I turn.
What does it feel like, Quintus? Have you ever been healed magically before?
Never once in my life. It feels kind of like a cool rush. It's going through my body, and I get chills all over and goosebumps. But then I feel it start to warm around the area, and I blink, and it feels like the pain is like it's a numbness, almost like I've had a bag of cold peas on it for a long time, and the wound is healed.
And as I bring my hands back, I turn to Quintus and I say, be cautious next time. And I turn to Leah and I say, let's hope I never have to do this on you either.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can usually just put a band-aid on it. It's fine.
Hopefully
into the woods. Are there any more of them?
Let us remember, all of us, that we are on a peace mission. A mission of peace for the undefeated. And as much as we handle ourselves pretty well, I don't want to draw blood if we don't need to, please.
Graham, what do you say about putting some of your healing powers on my scaly skin?
And I look down, and where the goblin hit me with his scythe, it's kind of like this broken, brittle, goopy gap in my arm.
Ooh, do you have red blood?
I do. Red blood and sort of blacky red skin.
And boogery.
Scaly.
And I look down at you, Tados, and I say, I understand. Alistair grants me but 2 abilities per day before tiring my bones. Unfortunately, I feel like your wound is not as dire as Quintus's was. I apologize, friend.
I understand, Graham. I hold no ill feeling towards you. I'll heal.
Very good.
Did you want to spend an hour on the road and just roll a hit dice to recover your hit points, or do you want to recover them all on a long rest when we sleep tonight?
I'll recover them all on a long rest when we all sleep.
Well, I, for one, would like to just take a moment to thank Alistair. And thank you too, Graham, for channeling him for healing me, because that hurt a lot. And I don't know, I felt like I was at about half my consciousness and ability to stand.
Quintus, do you carry the fire as well? Do you believe in Alistair as well?
Well, I believe in the fact that you made fire come down from the sky and healed my wounds right in front of me. Doesn't take much for me to do that, so I believe it because I can see it.
I'm glad there are others on this quest that believe in Alistair's light. It's rare outside of Vale to accompany those who follow his teachings. Devotion to God and mercy to others is not one you find outside of Vale.
My family typically worshipped like a lot of different kinds of like tempest gods and gods of the harvest. So there's like always someone different out on the shrine every weekend, pretty much.
I don't blame you, Leah, but when you find Alistair's light, come to me. He's a great, powerful deity.
And speaking for myself, I must believe that there's some sort of god, for I know that there is hell below us. Look at me. It is my infernal ancestry. Not that I'm happy about that. It is who I am, but if there is a demon, a devil, then there must be a god.
That's true enough. But I just have to say that you don't seem like a devil to me, Tados. Not so far. Not since training. The most devilish I've seen you is when you killed that goblin.
Or when you wake them up too early.
Tados, I've seen my share of devils in my life. Believe me, you are no devil. You're a friend, as you all are. I'm happy to be on this journey with you, since we have met at the Devil's Reef a fair amount of time ago now. I'm happy to call each of you friend.
And Tados has this large, toothy, awkward grin.
Thank you, friend.
It is rather
Thank
toothy.
you.
And awkward.
Hey, and Tados, if it makes you feel any better, you know the Undefeated is open to anyone. I heard that there's actually a drow in our ranks. A drow, can you believe it? A dark elf.
Wow.
I
These
don't
are
think I've
beings.
ever even seen one of those.
I have never encountered a drow myself, though I have read about them in my studies.
Yes, me too. They're interesting creatures with skin blacker than my father's. Absolutely amazing. I'd love to meet one day.
So as we all continue down the road, maybe a couple of hours pass, and we continue bantering, learning more about each other.
But Graham remains quiet the entire time, especially when you're talking about like experiences of like, oh, I want to see a drow. I want to see a drow. He just sort of keeps quiet and hangs back.
We begin to notice that the countryside is changing. The land to either side of the road first starts to see hints of deforestation. Trees having been hacked down and land being burned. But no signs of life yet.
It seems like maybe this area has been cultivated in some way. These trees have been cut down for quite some time.
Who's got the map?
And I look around the four of us.
Probably Leah or Graham, I feel like, would have the map. Yeah. Probably me,
And not
actually.
me.
Yeah, I'll have the map. I think it's... Yeah. And I look at the map.
Yeah.
I'm curious, are we near any sort of place of civilization? Perhaps this is a cultivation area, or perhaps it is something more demonic.
We are approaching the town of Zawanthe.
Is that Leah saying that?
That is Graham saying that with my voice, Joe Fallak.
Zalata.
Wow, Graham, what happened to your voice?
We are
It's so
approaching.
delicate.
We
With approaching the town of Zoanth.
the town of Zolanth. Is this the town that Evan Nonish?
Oh, no, this is demarcated on the map by a smallish dot, not one of the large dots or icons that would indicate a city.
All right.
This is a town.
So what time of day is it?
It's coming up on evening, so we still have daylight, but we're probably going to want to either make camp at the town or else outside of the town, depending on how we find things.
Now, a bit of meta stuff for a minute. How are
meta.
you undefeated? So you said we are in a different province right now. We are in Duluth?
We are in Duluth.
Or a different county, I should say.
Different county.
Are we aware of any sort of, like you said, House Nunith? Nanish? How do you spell these names?
House Naresh.
House
Naresh.
Okay.
This is lorded over by the Baroness Yvonne Naresh.
Okay.
And those are both fairly irrelevant at this point because we are not going to the house yet.
That's fine.
Quite far away.
This county, or this, the county, do we know anything about the way it views the Undefeated? Is the Undefeated relatively new? Are we expecting people in towns to not know of us or know of us? Or
So, and Justin, feel free to pipe in on this as you will, but the way that I've understood the Undefeated, we have been trained at Devil's Reef to basically have these core tenets of the Undefeated, which are to bring peace and also to bring unity. And apart from that, we are, in the community games, we're going to be, they're going to be doing very directed kinds of campaigns, whereas we on the stream are part of we're a chapter of people. So chapters of the Undefeated means like we are traveling chapters of adventurers who are charged with upholding these ideals within counties that are not part of the Undefeated. So we as a chapter may be bringing news of the Undefeated to places that do not know that we exist because their counties don't ascribe by our same beliefs. We may also be going into counties that are hostile towards us or totally ambivalent or just unaware.
So as far as we know, what you're saying about the Zoanth, the town of Zolanth in Duluth County, we don't know whether or not they know about us.
Yeah. We are at the forefront of sort of bringing the news of this ideology to a lot of places.
So our task is to come to Duluth, head towards House Naresh, speak with Yvonne and tell her of the Undefeated or convince them to join.
No, because this is a really, really small rural town.
Yeah, no, not Zoath, but ultimately, or Zoanth. Yeah. Ultimately, our goal. Sorry.
We
continue.
hope that the whole county eventually will join the Undefeated. Whether that means that we bring it into our cause piece by piece, small town by small town, or we go directly to the capital is kind of under our own purview.
And what is the capital of Duluth?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
So we could.
Would you like to name it?
City. Is Duluth an American city?
No.
I don't know.
Duluth. It is a city somewhere.
Yeah.
Duluth. I think
Minnesota.
It's Minnesota.
Yeah, I think it is.
Let's say,
sorry to get off topic.
Let's say Orjek is the capital.
Great. So the capital, Orjek, which is where House Naresh lives.
Okay.
So we could basically go into this small town, and I say this to the group. I say, so basically, I wasn't paying too much attention in the briefing, admittedly, but if we were to go to this small town of Zolanth and maybe do some favors, chop some wood, help married chickens. I don't know what sort of favors they need, but if we were to help them in some way, maybe they'd think, hey, these Undefeated folk aren't so bad after all.
Well, all I know is that I've got this wound, and I didn't realize that it was so bad as it was before, and I could use some time to mend my wound, if you don't mind. Perhaps a cold drink.
I think stopping for the night would be a good idea. I do think it's clear that we understand exactly why we're here, and I think if our message is to spread word of the Undefeated and hopefully convince Duluth County to join in our ranks, to join the Undefeated and reuniting the fracture, I think ultimately House Naresh is our goal. I don't think spending too much time in small towns would be beneficial, or maybe it would be. I don't know.
At least spreading the word of the Undefeated,
And righting wrong.
Bring the kingdom together. Sorry.
Righting wrong. You know, it's interesting. From what I know, and I don't know a lot about counties and lands and lords and all that, but usually a county is named after, or the capital of a county is named after the county itself. So like Holston, the city of Holston is the name of the city. It's interesting that here, Orjak is the capital and not Duluth City.
Well,
I
it's
wonder
the
if there
same.
was a Duluth City before it, but...
Well, it's the same with Vale. Vale, the county Vale, is a vast, beautiful place, but Hanlon's Hope, which is the capital, is completely separate from it, as most of the towns as well. Vale, but encompasses an island as well, as we all know. I think stopping in this town and maybe getting a pulse on this county is important, but I do think heading towards the capital of Orjak and speaking with this house and convincing them of our hope in reuniting the fracture, I think this should be our goal.
I agree, unless of course, we get a different vibe from Zoanth. If they are saying that for they want to stay apart from the realm, then maybe we'll change our plan.
Well, do you think that you'd like to take a break now, Tados, or head on to Zolanth? I mean, we're getting pretty close.
I would like to head to Zoanth. I'm sure there are interesting beings there, although I would prefer to keep my hood up.
What say you, Leah?
Well, I don't much fancy sleeping on the side of the road in this weather. I mean, it being middle of springtime and we're on the coast, you know,
It's
storms
true.
tend to
Lots of
come up.
rain.
It's not going to be
good for my
comfortable.
skin.
We've only been traveling together outside of having been trained together for the last week and a half, 2 weeks maybe, or 10-day, I guess, is the way that we're going to roll in this campaign. So, yeah, we're fairly fresh on the road. This is kind of a border town. So this is the first civilization that we've come to as a quartet, as a chapter. And I think I'm feeling really positive and full of energy, and I want people to know that this is the way to do it, that you got to be good to each other and not murder anybody, and that we're going to kill monsters.
Let's hope it's not a town of goblins then.
I wouldn't like that.
It was just
a
a joke.
And as we continue walking, these great plains of trees that are turned into timber at the side of the road and forest land that has been burnt is slowly giving way to farmland. And as we continue walking down the road, we start to see signs of life. Every couple of acres, there's a farmhouse. A couple of them have smoke coming out of their chimneys, and we do see the odd farmer who kind of give us a very strange look as we pass on the road.
And not only all of us a strange look, but they especially tend to give me this untrusting, a scared look. And I turn to the others and I say under my breath, "Ignorant farmers."
Yeah, what do they know?
Well, I was a farmer for many years, but fair enough. Are they human?
Nothing against you, Graham.
There are some humans.
What other races have we seen in this?
A smattering of other humanoids, half-elves, halflings, dwarves.
Okay, perfect.
It's not very populous right now. I should say we haven't necessarily seen one example of each of them, but yeah.
That's
There's,
orc shit on the road there. There's orcs here, don't worry.
Because it's green.
There's actually there's a horse-drawn wagon carrying wood into town that's going the same direction as us, and it's laboring in the slush and mud on the road.
Who's driving it?
As we approach, we can tell the driver is a human. It's an older woman.
Does she seem to be struggling? Like, could she use help?
Yeah, she's not having an easy go of it. The horses seem tired.
Is there something that we could do, or is it just like
I
that sucks? Well, I mean, like visually, like is it something that like do the horses like
Or is this something that 4 people with that are strong and able could lift this wagon out of the...
Or is it like a fucking massive, like, don't even bother trying?
I mean, it's rolling. It's not like she's stuck in the mud, but she's just, like, going real slow.
Okay.
Let's do something. We should help her.
What's the road up ahead look like? Is it
I just ask her, I say,
all the
do
way
you
from
need
here
help?
to town?
Do you need help, ma'am?
No. What? Thank you very much.
Well,
No.
it just looks like your wagon is dragging in the mud a little bit, and if you had a little bit of a push, we could help you to town a little bit faster, right? Right, everyone?
She kind of looks at you suspiciously.
No. We're not bandits or anything.
Have a good day, ma'am. And I just continue walking, and I shake my head.
I'm used to
We're
this
not.
sort of look. Let's move along.
We're not bandits.
Quintus, you don't need to tell every person we come in contact with that we're not bandits. In fact, it makes us seem like we are bandits.
Really?
Yes.
Well,
For
why
the past
didn't you
week.
tell me that the past?
It's the 5th time you've done it in the past week, and I think it's important just to make that clear. Let's just
Could
be
have
nice,
at least
people.
told me one of the other times I did it.
I didn't think you'd keep doing it, to be honest.
Then why wouldn't I? If I'd done it 4 times, that seems like a pattern to
Well,
me.
I figure the woman that slapped you 2 days ago, I figured that was part of the learning curve of you. It's not important. Let's
I thought
continue.
that was part of the custom.
No.
I look around from side of the road to the other side of the road, and there's obviously it's cultivated land. What sort of stuff are they growing?
It's interesting you should ask that. So it seems like because it's the middle of the spring, a lot of what needs to be planted is already being planted or has been planted. So it's hard to tell what is growing right now, but it's clear that some of the older crops, how do I explain this? Why don't you make a nature check for me?
Yeah, for sure. Which is one of my specialties.
Specialties.
Specialities.
Well said.
Just a 120, right?
And then my drink.
So I rolled a total of 4.
Nice. They grow plants.
So I see that the soil is... They have great fields of overturned soil, and I simply make the comment that
The land here seems so fertile. It's incredible. We don't have such lands like this in the mountains. For we can only grow small crops before you fall off the edge of a cliff.
Very
look
good.
over
Interesting.
across the great expanse of land.
What was that? I missed that. Sorry. I was looking at a bird.
It was
Never
not-
seen it before.
It's not important. And we continue on to Zona.
That's
Zoanna.
very interesting. Tados, I guess. What do you even grow in the mountains?
Oh, potatoes, lots of root vegetables, carrots. That's about it. We usually trade with the lower lands for wheat and other grains, rice.
Did you say weed?
Wheat.
Do you have some?
fucking nice
Wheat.
weed.
You're right, man.
And sometimes the occasional grass, yes.
Ooh. What do the people down below think of you guys? I mean, there's a village of demons. I mean, tieflings. I mean, people
Yes.
living above them with horns in their heads.
You must understand that although House Artacris is built on the belief that, not necessarily the belief, but it was built on the backs of tiefling, our house and our villages contain not only tiefling, but also humans and other humanoids elves. They're not all tieflings. Many people of the lower lands believe it is just us that live in the mountains, but it's not.
Interesting. So it's kind of like a clan family, where you don't need to be of house Artecris, is what you say?
Artecris, that's correct.
You don't need to be of that house in order to become an heir to the throne. You can be inducted into the clan.
That's correct. Just like our current leader, Lucius Derosum. Derosum. And yes, he's not a tiefling, actually, Lucius. He is a human, but we are related through various ways. He is sort of like my uncle, at least to me growing up.
You are related to the leader of the house.
Not directly, Graham, but yes, that is why I'm here with you. I've joined the Undefeated because I was sent to help bring the land together. The fracture certainly has disturbed our house, and unlike some of the other houses, like House Amaryllis, I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
It's a very old house. It's I did meet one of its kin, its folk, but I don't know where he is. I'm sure we will meet him on this quest, but that is a very ancient house, and ours is not nearly as ancient. Of course, so is Lancaster. How old is Lancaster?
Oh my goodness, Lancaster House. I mean, we've been around for a long time. Goodness, I could get into the story, but really, we don't need to hear about my family now, do we? We got to get into this town, I say, as we're standing before probably not so big walls.
Absolutely.
Well, as we descend into kind of a valley, as the sun is setting, we see before us the town of Zoanth. It's kind of a medium-sized town, and the density of buildings builds from the farmlands into the town center, obviously. So there's just a few buildings on the perimeter, and more as you move into the center of town. There are no city walls, but there is a very obvious perimeter of guards kind of moving throughout the outer roads and alleyways of the town. So as we approach, there is a liveried guard who holds up a hand, asking us to slow.
We mean you no harm. We are but travelers of the Undefeated.
I knew this would happen. I say under my breath, I knew this would happen.
No, it's all right. We're just doing the job.
I'm sorry, you said you're from the Undefeated, and where's that?
The Undefeated comes from Devil's Reef in Vale. We act as a peacekeeping mission. We seek the capital of Orjak to speak with House Naresh, but for now we could use a bit of food and drink and a night in one of your inns.
Interesting. A
so
peacekeeping mission.
Peace and unity, yes.
Oh, I mean, of course, travelers are not common, but welcome here. So, may I suggest to you the Bloom and Barrel? It's a fine establishment. Good ale, good roast.
Do you have a lot of pubs here, or is it mostly just the Bloom and the Bloom and what?
The Bloom and the Barrel.
The Bloom and the Barrel. All right.
There are a couple of places, but if you're looking for a drink as well as a bed, I'd say that's your best bet. If you're just looking for a nightcap, maybe the Foggy Road.
You know, I would say that the Bloom and the Barrel sounds good. I could definitely use a drink.
Can I roll, I don't know how this works, but does insight work if you're trying to sort of get someone's sort of general, like, tone? Like,
yeah, I mean, I would encourage you to say what you want to do, and then I'll ask you to roll for X.
Okay, I want to know if this guy's just a general, like, hey, welcome to the town, or if he's like, go stay at this inn, because this is where my uncle works, and he's going to rob you in the night. Just want to see
Definitely
if he's like,
insight.
Perfect. This is just because I'm world weary, and I've been to enough small towns where people like say, "Oh yeah, come stay at my place," and then they fucking try to kill you in the night.
And that's just good D&D.
Again.
And that's just good what?
Good D&D.
Yeah. All right. So insight, natural 20.
Nicely done.
Ooh.
Okay. Not only do you know that this guard is not necessarily affiliated with the Bloom and Barrel, is giving you kind of an honest recommendation. You also notice that when you are talking, he's kind of looking you up and down and appraising more so than just your wallets. He's noticing the fact that you are clearly adventurers, that you have, you know, he's looking over the arcane symbols that the casters have on them. He's checking out Quintus's weapons, that sort of thing.
Perfect. And so I say to him, as I mentioned, we are part of the Undefeated. We are on a mission of peace. If you know of anybody in town that could use some help for semi-weary adventurers, please let them know that we will be at the Bloom and Barrel tonight. And sorry, your name was?
Oh, my name is Richard.
Richard. My name is Graham. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hi, Graham.
And I nod
I'm
to him.
Tados.
And I lean forward in an awkward manner.
Oh, God. Tados, you say. Yes.
Don't worry, I'm friendly.
Well, undefeated, you say. And he pulls out a scrawl of parchment and kind of like scrawls a note to himself. And he says, the mayor, Leslie, may wish to speak with you, though she's not one to head out after office hours. He kind of looks around at the darkening sky. We've been having a trouble, you know, with fey creatures in the wild.
Yes,
Kind of looks around.
I couldn't help but notice the perimeter you've got going on here.
Yes, well, there's a couple of problems, you see, ever since the fracture. We've been dealing with a lot of monsters in these woods, but then also the farmers having trouble with sprites, and this year's been especially hard trying to plow new land, and they don't like that very much. They're giving us all kinds of trouble.
And what has the Baroness been doing about it?
Oh, the Baroness has her own problems. Zoanth is such a small village.
The Baroness is Yvonne. She's talking about Leslie, which would be the mayor.
No, I know, but the Baroness, this is under her jurisdiction. This is something that she should care about. Her people are in trouble.
Yes, well, speak to the Baroness, if you know what I mean.
All right, I suppose we will, one day. But first, we need some food.
Well, I won't keep you. Have a safe evening. And he clicks his heels and heads away on his perimeter.
Thank you, Richard.
Nice fella.
And I think that'd be a good place to stop for the mid-game post. Sorry, I didn't check, but I figured that was a pretty good lull. So let's do that, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the mid-game post. That's right. It's the time where we stop the action. We jump onto the Facebook group and we ask you guys a question. Although I'm kind of thinking that maybe 2018 is the year that we stop the Facebook and use Discord for like the mid-game post.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's.
Guys, I just got here.
Oh, Alex! So nice to see you.
Guys.
Oh, hey!
I figured I'd come for the mid-game post, but I think I agree with you. I think we should go to Discord. It's the one where everybody is, and if you're not here, it's free. It's easy to use. There's no reason why you can't be here.
So there you go. So we have the mid-game post created right under where everyone's chatting in episode 1 of the Discord. So I'm thinking we will do the same premise. We'll ask a question and whoever answers and blah, 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 blah. So only put your answer to whatever question we ask in the mid-game post. Please make it easy for us.
Yeah. Otherwise, it won't be
Jojo.
counted.
Jojo?
Yeah?
What's the question?
Jojo.
Sorry, I'm eating caramels.
Okay, so caramels is the
Caramels?
question. What is the best apple to make candy apples with?
Oh, that's
Oh.
Granny Smith, hands down.
What?
Correct. Correct.
Thank you. The question for the mid-game post is, what is the name of the training facility of the Undefeated? Said it a couple of times.
We did.
We did.
And it's on a map that I did not post, so...
It's on a map.
So there's the question. First people to answer correctly, we will enter a draw and we will roll, and whoever wins will win. How you guys liking the game so far? You having a good time?
Oh, D&D is fun.
Jazz hands. Yeah,
I'm
man.
trying to make this as educational as possible.
Listen, I don't know a lot, but I'm also specifically asking questions so that like we all learn together too.
Same.
Oh, that's great.
And I don't know a lot either, but I'm asking questions in a way that I've already know a little bit, but I'm like asking it in a more open way that people that don't know how to play D&D might watch this and say, "Oh,
but
that's
Alex, you haven't been here the game. What are you talking about?"
That's right. Sorry, I was asking Tados to ask for me.
You know what it's like? It's like those infomercials where it's kind of like a an interview style. Like where like Dr. Ho has his like little thing and like there's someone beside him like, and what's that, Dr. Ho? And what do you do when you roll perception?
That really annoying person.
It's true. A lot of answers so far. None of them right.
No correct
Great,
answers.
great. Where am I? Oh, mid-game post. It's a new
Where
one.
did Holston come from? I don't remember that.
Castle Holston. No, that's not. People are guessing Castle Holston, and no, that's not where they train. It's somewhere else.
Somewhere else.
Castle Holston doesn't.
Big McGinty's house o'Hurton.
Big McGinty's House O'Hurton. I love it. That sounds like a really sexy name, eh?
House of Hutton. No, Castle
Welcome
Holston.
to Big McGinty's House O'Hurton.
Oh, we got something.
Hey, there we go.
Hey.
Seapool Morchindle's got it.
I
I know it's Godpool, but I don't know.
Every time.
Just give it to Godpool?
Apparently,
No one else is getting it.
No one else has gotten it. Fuck it. Give it to Godpool.
Oh, it's misspelled, but you get the idea.
Yeah, Devil's Reef, R-E-E-F.
Nicely done, my
Reef, man. Yeah, well done for paying attention. And shame on all those people who didn't know it was Castle Holston, but wrote Castle Holston because the previous person did. Because I think there's got to be a lot of you who are like, oh, Holston?
Shame
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah, because not that many people would have gotten that wrong. Ooh, Shiny Tentacruel got Granny Smith Castle, which I'm pretty... that should get partial points. No, I'm kidding.
Partial.
Godpool,
Shiny tentacle.
you win the game. And welcome Eldritch Forge and Andrew.A. Welcome Andrew.A.
Andrew.A. Where are you seeing this?
This is from the general, not from the actual Facebook group, but just like the general.
Case just joined us? Not
Johnny-
John just joined us?
Who?
Johnny
On the Facebook
Favorite.
group?
People are joining
Good
us here.
pool, job pool.
No, these are people that joined since the beginning of the stream tonight.
Oh, yeah?
Like
Nice.
8:30.
So Zofia wants us to rename the place of training. She's putting in a petition to rename it Camp Wholesome instead of Devil's Wreath.
Maybe like Camp Awesome.
How about
Awesome.
sweet as whole? And then we can say asshole.
Sweet as
Like it's a real sweet asshole, you know?
I was the world's first anal rapist.
Yeah. I like it. Let's do that. Andrew A. says,
in
hey,
your
all.
camp, so you're allowed to.
That's right. First time on Discord. I'm enjoying the stream, though. I just managed to catch it a minute ago. What's everybody's character? Well, you'll just have to rewind it and find out, my friend.
Where are you seeing all of this?
I'm
No,
saying,
just wait and see. Just don't rewind it. It'll be all out of sync.
Yeah, don't be out of sync. No one wants to be out of sync.
Nope.
That's it for the mid-game posts. I guess we just go back to the...
That was amazing. Ooh, yeah, this is great. We got lots of people watching, it looks like.
We got lots of people watching.
Lots of people.
No pressure, everyone.
I didn't even put... I don't think I even pinned a post today, actually. I kept expecting you to do it, and I realized I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. I was expecting you to do it.
Well, I figured you'd be doing the write-up or something.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about it, and then I realized that I didn't.
Well, good thing that people got the link, because there's nothing. So there you go. Figured it out. Sorry.
We got a smart bunch here.
They're the smartest. But I mean, I guess we should have well, you know what? Now the inaugural episode is done, so we can go back and be like, watch last week and now catch up next week, and then we'll tweet it and do all that kind of shit.
Or maybe we'll hold off on posting any of them, and you got to binge watch them all later on.
It'll be super
Kidding!
secret.
Or you could just spend the night watching the GIF of Tom Cruise sliding
Running?
across the floor in Risky Business.
Bum, 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 bum.
And imagining all of us.
I don't know why. When you said Tom Cruise, I was thinking Kevin Costner. I was gonna say that's not him, and I'm like, oh, Kevin.
Yes.
That's right.
But you
When
could
I
Photoshop
think
his
Kevin
face on
Costner too, because we both know Kevin Costner would have been the better fit,
And he's got a nice bum.
and he's got the best bum.
Doesn't
Did I
he?
say that out loud?
Doesn't he?
Yeah,
You did.
Kevin Costner has a nice
Classic.
little bum, like Harlan. Just a little one.
That's a little bum.
Just a little bum.
Very
You're so
small.
gay, Harlan. It's okay if you are.
You're really flaunting it right now.
Really flaunting it.
It's okay if you are.
Just tell us. Just tell us.
That was awesome. That dude was my favorite. I really hope I get a message being like, "Yo,
right.
why'd you make fun of me? Are you gay? But seriously, question mark, question mark. Why are you making fun of me? Dude, are you gay? I'm not, but are you? Please tell me."
Just tell me.
Shiny Tentacle says, I rarely watch live, but stumbled on your Twitch channel live. It's the perks of being sick, I suppose. Oh,
Ooh,
shit, I hope
Twitch
you're not
channel.
sick.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, welcome.
Hope you're not
Shiny
contagious.
Tentacruel.
I can't get sick. I can't afford to.
I can
No
get
one
sick.
can.
I've got Firewire.
Weird. All right, back to the Motor League, propaganda style. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, did anybody get that reference? Joe, take it away.
Nope.
Alex did.
Doodling.
Back to the Motor League. Sorry, Joe.
So Richard the guard heads back on his patrol, and we are left at the outskirts of town.
Nice fella.
Yeah, he was nice.
Yes, surprisingly friendly.
Nice butt. Just little, you know?
I
You-
sympathize
You're
with
one to talk about little butts, Leah.
the little butts.
Sorry, I'm a little woman and I like a little butt.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that.
So,
Are we gonna go into this town and possibly get a drink? I don't know about you, but I studied alchemy and I could really use a strong brew.
I just love the word that I love that you use the word possibly. Definitely more like.
Oh, Quintus. Hilarious.
I'd like a sherry. I'd like a cup of sherry.
I don't drink. I don't drink typically, but I
You
could
don't?
use it. No, not anymore.
But
Why
Graham,
not,
we
Graham?
could get we could get some holy water for you.
That's true.
Very funny. Very, very, very funny, Tados. And he kind of heads up ahead quietly and heads towards the Bloom and Barrel.
Yeah, so there is there's a 2-story tavern/inn that is very common in these fantasy type worlds, with a wooden sign swinging from the awning, the picture of a rose stamped on a barrel. And it seems to be a place that has a number of people in there right now. There's someone lounging around outside smoking a pipe, a dwarf and a halfling kind of standing in the doorway laughing at each other. And yeah, there's not too many other people out on the streets. The sun's gone down.
I jump into the front entrance.
Just like jump in front of Graham. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I jump in and I make this big, boisterous voice, even using my thaumaturgy cantrip to bellow my voice in a way saying,
The Undefeated is here!
Oh, fuck.
The room is quieted by this exclamation. Dozens of eyes look at you. And a couple of people start whispering to each other.
And I enter momentarily behind him, and I say,
but before you do that, using the same cantrip, I turn all the lights out, just walk to the bar very quickly, and then turn them back on. You know, dim them just...
Someone screams.
And I stand at the bar quietly.
The bartender just looks at you.
and I walk over to Tados and I say, Tados, I understand the need for theatrics, but our order is new. We are trying to command respect, trying to bring unity. Please do not do things like this when we come into small towns. It's not going to benefit us.
And just behind them, Quintus and Leah have been following in afterwards. They were a little bit behind. And Quintus slams the door open and says, "We're all here, everybody! Let's have a drink!"
And Graham just puts his head in his hand.
I'm sorry. I got excited.
It's all right. You're young.
I'll listen to you, Graham, but you may want to have a word with Quintus as well.
"Do you want a drink? I'll buy you one," I said to the girl sitting down. "How about you, Leah? You want that sherry? I'm buying. It's my treat today."
Oh, absolutely. I would love a sherry. And she like spies the different stools all along and finds one for small folk and then pops up. The bartender is staring totally dumbfounded at the four of us. Muddy outsiders, absolutely foreign accents, races he's never seen before. He's got like a burgundy vest and a white shirt with his sleeves rolled up and a burgundy bow tie.
I love the description you're giving.
Kind of like sandy blonde hair and like a little swoop over his forehead, and he's got a name tag that says Maury.
This is the bartender?
Yeah.
And I say, "Greetings, Maury. Could I have a glass of water, please?
Yes, I suppose.
And a hot meal. And my friends and I would be looking for a place to stay tonight. I've heard that this is one of the best inns."
That was quite the entrance. He looks at Tados.
I apologize.
Pull my hood in a little bit to block my face from him.
Yes. Jump in through the hallway saying, "Look at me!" And then fucking cower.
Oh no, I'm embarrassed. I've overstepped my play, you know.
Might I ask what the Undefeated is?
And I sort of give a look to Tados, being like, "Let me field this one." And I turn back to him and I say, "The Undefeated is a movement, a group of warriors and peacekeepers trying to reunite the fractured lands of this great country. Great kingdom, I should say. We are 4 representatives from different counties. I from Vale, my friend here from Gregorian?
Yes, that's correct. Gregorian.
And the other 2 from 2 different places that I haven't written down yet.
I'm from Holston, representative House Lancaster to the south.
Right.
And me, I'm from House Worsey in Ralston County.
And
this is a lovely bar.
By the 30th game, I will know those like my own name. I assure you. We mean you no harm, and please excuse the theatrics for my friends, as we have been traveling many days and are looking for food and rest.
And ale. And some ale, a sherry for her.
Yes, everybody come. Let's all join in this conversation. Come here. My friends and I want to drink. No. Yes.
I hope you don't take offense to my asking, but you have coin, yes?
Yes, we have coin, of course.
Good. And you said a hot meal.
Please, yes, one for each of us.
Are you staying the evening, travelers?
How much?
Up and down at our bedrolls and such.
How much is it for a room?
2 silver each.
I'm going to negotiate a bit.
Okay.
Because why the fuck not? I feel like Graham is...
You're going to have disadvantage because of all of the cluster.
I know. God damn it.
Not my fault. I'm not taking any responsibility.
It's my chaotic good personality.
I will do disadvantage for persuasion. So 4.
It's my chaotic good personality. I need that on a t-shirt.
12 plus 4, 16. And I say, surely 1 silver each should, since we are buying meals, and believe me, my friends will be drinking ale. I hope 1 silver each would be suffice.
2 silver each, but that will include your dinners. Drinks extra.
Fair enough.
Well,
I don't drink, so I'm okay with that.
All right. So that's 8 silver. I don't know who is going to be the purse for the company, but
well, we got 8 gold from the
silver.
Sorry,
Silver.
You only got silver and coppers.
Yeah, 6 silver from the one that I picked up, so we should definitely have enough for tonight.
And I got
from me.
3. So everybody's got enough? Really?
Yeah, let's have Leah be the purse. I would trust her the most.
Yeah.
You want me to be the DM and also the quarterback?
Actually, no. Sorry, no. Graham would be. Leah's a bit too flighty.
Yeah.
I think I would be.
I
Okay,
spent all
Graham.
our money on bubblegum.
Are
Yeah,
you
exactly.
keeping track
I realized that.
Are you keeping track then, Graham?
I
Because
will.
I've got my sheet up and I'm ready to keep track if you want me to.
Well,
be
put it
the
this
first.
way: you can keep track, but Graham will be the purse. You know what I mean?
Okay, so how much has everybody got? For
I had
silver?
6 silver and 8 copper from the.
And I had 4 and 4 from, well,
Get a
And
bit
I'm
of
not
French
sure-
in your Scottish.
a little bit of French sometimes sneaks in there.
I'm not sure if I mentioned during our character creation session, but everyone's starting with 20 gold.
Oh, I didn't.
20.
20
That's
gold.
better.
So that gives us 20 copper pieces, 13 silver pieces.
Great.
So we take it out of the purse, then we're left with 13 minus 8.
And I say
5.
to the others, I say, any drink that you choose beyond this, pay for with your own money. And I take my hot plate and I go sit in a booth and eat it
What are you
quietly.
eating? What have you been served?
Well,
Chicken with rice.
Nice.
here's the thing. If we're using a purse and everybody's money's pooled, then we can't necessarily...
No, you have
Unless-
your 20
how
gold
much is-
individually. I'm just saying
20
any money that comes from fallen foes or jobs done should go into the communal purse. But we each start with 20
agree.
gold.
That's a
meaning-
good idea.
Are you keeping
I like
track
that.
then, Harlan?
No. Okay, I can. Sure. What are we at?
Yeah.
You said it was...
20 copper pieces,
Yeah.
5 silver pieces.
Okay, perfect. So any
I'm
And
gonna delete mine.
Maury says it's a copper for every drink.
that's on just you guys. And
I
I'm going to
will.
go
So-
find a quiet corner, and as they're doing this stuff, I just want to do a general perception of the bar. Is anyone in here that looks generally interesting or concerned or upset? Anyone that I can talk to and speak
Everyone
to?
looks very upset because all of us are here because of those shenanigans. That was
Alright.
bad. The light show and the shouting. No one wants to talk to you, for sure.
Me as well?
In fact, as you approach a table of people to maybe discuss, maybe there's a woman crying and no one consoling her, and you walk up to try to console her, and she just runs away.
I'm going to do persuasion on her.
Fuck. Sorry.
As I walk up to her, I'm gonna say something before
sorry.
she goes to move. And
Okay.
I'm gonna roll persuasion. I'm gonna say, Miss, please, you're upset, and I understand that my friend's entrance is a bit jarring, but I mean you no harm. I come under Alistair's good graces, a man of the cloth, here to only offer an ear and any other aid I could help with.
Okay, why don't you roll persuasion?
It's 21.
Oh. So she was going to stand up to get away from you, and you see her face is streaked with tears, and then at your words she kind of wipes the tears away from her eyes. Did you say you're a man of the cloth?
And I point to the booth, and I sit down across from her, and I say, yes, of course. Do you need any food or drink, please? Is she like normal, or is she starved? Is there anything that...
She looks like a farm girl. She looks like she's maybe in her mid-30s. She's got dirt under her fingernails. She's got her hair tied back in a kerchief.
Okay, and I say, yes, I'm from Vale, north of here. I've spent many years under Alistair's care, and I'm here with the Undefeated, trying to bring peace and unity across the fracture. Anything I can help, please let me.
Thank you. That's so kind of you. My father was a man of faith as well. So it's nice to hear those words of comfort.
You seem upset. Is there anything I can do to help you?
Well, it's just that, things are so hard for us right now. With taxes being so high in town here, none of us can really afford any of the necessities, and the crops haven't come in obviously yet, so that's hard. We don't have anything to sell at the market. And then of course the sprites are being such bitches. They untied all of my cattle 2 nights ago, and I lost a third of them.
You said that the taxes are being raised. Is Leslie not in charge of the taxes, or is this straight from the capital?
No, that's I believe I'm not sure. It's Leslie who, I mean, enforces the taxes, but no one's really been. You know Mayor Leslie?
I have heard of her. We are here to, again, help in any way we can. And if Leslie is responsible for raising the taxes, from what I've gathered, it might not be her decision. Perhaps we can speak with her about these taxes, or maybe understand the problem to help people like you.
You do that?
Of course. We are part of a movement trying to bring unity to this fractured land. And this comes with every township and every citizen like yourself.
My name's Marguerite. She holds out her hand.
And Graham takes it and says a soft prayer and says, I carry the fire of Alistair with me. I will pray for you tonight, and I will do everything I can in my power to help. How long ago did your cattle become lost?
It was 2 nights ago.
Do
Please,
the sprites...
are you staying here? You're welcome at my house.
We couldn't possibly, unless... And I hesitate for a second, and Graham sort of thinks, is it likely, knowing what he would know, do sprites eat cattle? I mean, is it possible we could track these cattle and bring them back, or is that sort of a stupid cause?
You can choose to roll Arcana or Nature.
Definitely, probably Arcana. Nope, both are Intelligence, aren't they? I'll roll it anyway.
Are you proficient in one or the other?
Nope. I thought I would be Arcana, but I am not.
You might be able to get someone help who knows a little bit more about it.
Yeah, I want to bring... I'm going to bring Tados in because I know he's good with nature, but not yet. I don't want her to walk in and be like...
I love Cal.
Tados, Quintus, what are the two of you up to right now?
Well, I've noticed that the mood in the room is not one akin to the bars that I've been in. And I turn to Tados and I say, well, cheers to you, and to you too, Leah.
Oh, thank you.
Cheers to you too, Quintus.
May our adventure bring joy and fun and more ale.
Yes. And speaking of more ale, Maury.
I flip him a copper coin.
He catches it deftly out of the air without even looking your way and slides another ale down the bar. This is a man who does his job well.
And if you will, a warm glass of milk and also a glass of water.
But a moment, and hustles into the back room to where you presume the kitchen is.
You wanted milk? Why would you want the milk?
It's not for me, I say under my breath to Quintus, as I messily glug down my beer, my pint of ale. And the foam covers my upper mouth. This ale is so delicious. In the mountains, the ale we have is but irony. It's very full of minerals and tastes chalky.
As Maury returns with your hot milk and water, Marguerite in the booth with Graham is kind of regained her composure and is like brushing the wrinkles out of her apron. So, yeah, I mean, there's Daisy. Obviously, she's gone. Buttercup, gone.
These are the cows.
Yeah.
I'm just saying...
makes sense.
Did you try cow names. Did you try tracking them down, following them to where they were taken? Perhaps me and my friends would be able to find out exactly where they were and bring them back.
Oh, I
with
would
that...
appreciate that.
And I say, I'm going to call my friend over. He made an interesting entrance, but I promise you that they mean only to help. And I turn to them and I say, Tados, Quintus.
But as you turn, I'm already walking towards you. I really don't. It's who I am. I don't wait for these things.
Perfect.
But I'm walking over holding the glass of milk and water.
Good evening, ladies, and I apologize if I frightened you upon my entrance. Here, a warm glass of milk and a glass of water. One to settle the nerves and the other to wash it down.
Oh, thank you. Are you a cursed man?
Thank you for being kind enough to ask. No, I am a tiefling. Demonic ancestry. You could say cursed, but more damned.
Are they not synonyms?
Listen, I am a member of House Artecris, and before I say anything out of place and put you back in the position of fear as you were before, I want to make amends and show you that we are only here to help and keep the peace.
And hopefully liven the place up a little bit. Sorry. Hey, my friend waved me over. My name's Quintus. Quintus
sorry.
Gray.
All of this bright stuff just has me on edge.
It's got pretty much everybody.
Tados and Leah, Marguerite here has offered us a place to stay tonight, if we so choose. She's lost some cattle because of some sprites. Tados, you have quite experience with sprites. Is it possible that these cattle were only misled and perhaps could be salvaged?
I can tell you.
What would you prefer me to roll? Arcana or history? Or
nature.
Or
Nature is higher, really.
Either or. Also, Quintus, you said that was your mother the elf side of your equation?
That's right, yes.
And how much time did you spend with your mother in your childhood?
A little bit. When I was wee, maybe up until I was 4 years old.
Okay.
Learned some basics of the language, but then she unfortunately had an early demise.
So I would have said if you were very close with her, maybe she would have told you about sprites, but unfortunately this is not the case.
So I rolled an 18 plus 3, so 21.
Ooh, very interesting.
Good.
So you know quite a bit about sprites.
Really what I would want to know is if they are stealing cattle to eat them, or are they stealing cattle to cause mischief and drive the farmers away?
You know that these creatures are tiny, so they are maybe the size of a chipmunk or sparrow.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not going to eat cows.
Okay, so they're not the sharp-toothed little sprites that I...
These are like a Tinkerbell type creature.
Okay. So more causing mischief.
Certainly.
Do they
and I tell this to Graham.
Do they typically serve a higher creature, or are they completely independent?
Sprites are little independent creatures. I do not believe they serve any higher power, if they do believe in it. They may serve one, king of the sprites, if you will, of this area, but no single god as you worship, Graham. And that's not a slight, I'm just saying.
Was that a nature roll you did, or an arcana roll?
They're equal for me.
Okay,
I'm proficient in both. It was a nature I rolled.
I turn sort of away, and in a hushed tone I say, Marguerite thinks that maybe her cattle can be salvaged. Do you feel like tracking down cattle from what you know of them after 2 days would be a worthwhile venture for us? I don't want to waste our time.
Yeah, why not? I mean, if we can figure out... It doesn't sound like she's the only one affected by these sprites. What are you laughing at, Tados? You're giggling over there.
No, that's me giggling. Because Tados
Alex
is giving a blank stare back to Graham.
Do I feel like chasing cattle?
Tados, our mission here is the
And I
undefeated.
stand up and turn to the others.
Are any of you others missing cattle?
They all just kind of look at you. Maury's like, you're cut off. You cut off.
And I turn back to Margaret and I say, I think we would graciously take your offer of staying with you if you have room for 4.
Yes, well, some of you will have to sleep on the floor, but I do have...
I think I know which two can sleep on the floor.
And I think I do too.
I have quilts and blankets aplenty, so... my husband died a couple of years ago. The house is in.
Well,
Why are you laughing?
No, I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at Tados and Quintus being relegated to the floor.
I wasn't insinuating you two.
Sure.
I am.
What I'm curious about is why. Well, have we already paid Maury?
Yeah,
And
I
are we
think
gonna be able to
I think we
recoup
can get
our
the money
silver?
back. Well, I'll go ask him, or someone can. I don't care. Well, I think
I can ask him.
okay.
I don't mind.
Who else has eaten apart from Graham?
I have not.
I think
In
Leia.
fact, I'm starving.
I think Leah probably ate while she was sitting at the bar.
Well, you know what? He said it was room and food anyway. How much would food typically cost?
It's like 5 copper.
Okay, yeah, then they'll get our money back.
Yeah. All right.
So
can I
yeah,
just do the regular one,
he'll
or-
refund 7 silver of those 8.
Perfect.
Perfect. Yeah, all right, that works. That was easier than it looked. You're a very kind man, sir. Even after a rude entrance.
And
Nobody
you're a
took me
very
up on the beer.
Well, I'm very excited to have you out of my
I was
establishment.
gonna say he just wants us gone.
Ah.
And
You
I
look
turn
like you could
to
use a drink.
Leah,
up.
Leah, who's been quiet, and I say, "Are you okay with this tracking down cattle? I know you're probably more interested in moving on towards bigger and greater things."
No, I think it's great. I mean, we're here to bring peace, and these people are obviously dealing with a lot of shit right now. And she like looks around to see if anyone like.
Whoa.
I'd never seen a sprite before.
Well, neither have I. So it'll be
Could
an
be
experience for the first time for both of us.
Yes, they're about the size of a chipmunk. And they fly.
And they
They're taste little-
delicious.
They're a little glowing. In fact, they're mischievous little creatures. I wouldn't be surprised if they lured the cattle off with fresh green grass. Maybe, perhaps just beyond the reach of where the eye could see. Somewhere just to irritate the farmers in the area. I am curious though, Marguerite. Is it just you that this is affecting? Perhaps we can make a greater impact on this village of yours.
What do you mean?
Is it only your cattle? Perhaps others are missing similar. Maybe you could ask around or
No,
make an announcement.
I've heard many rumors of similar mischief. It's delaying the planting of the crops for sure.
Do you need any wood chopped? Because I can do that in the meantime.
That would be amazing. Yes.
And chickens married?
Yes, I do have a couple of chickens that need marriage.
Well, perfect.
I can marry them as well, under the Alistairs.
Have you got any fish? I've never had fish.
No, I don't have fish.
Damn it! I've never had fish.
Margaret,
Alright.
I think we should head to your farmstead.
Yes, so we're walking through the town, and it's kind of as if we had continued on the road. Like, we're not backtracking at all.
Good.
Excellent.
Marguerite, she's like, it's gotten quite dark. I guess I was crying in that tavern for longer than I meant to.
And
with
as
that,
we're walking, I hang
cast-
back. Oh, no, don't. No, I'm going to say this first, because I'm
No.
exactly going to say this. I want to hang back, and I want to say to Tados and Quintus, and I say, listen, boys, I understand you're excited to be out of the house for once, but please have a bit of tact when coming into towns like this. They're people, they're simple, they're scared, and we need to have a certain demeanor and respect as representatives of the undefeated. If people do not understand and respect our order, word will travel very fast.
You make a valid point.
I don't know. I mean, I'm a little confused. I mean, Why wouldn't they want us to liven up the place, make it a little bit more cheerful?
Cheer does not come at the expense of startling or braggartly entrances, Quintus. It can come in a whole manner of ways, and if cheering a town up is what is necessary, then we shall do it. But let them be the ones to ask it of us, or let us be the people to decide that's what they need. To come into a town, you must understand that we are the forefront of this movement. If we don't act with careful steps, we could set out on a very rocky foundation.
It's just a lot to keep track of. Not saying that we're bandits and not offering to buy an entire bar of beer.
Let's just take it one step at a time, and I think it's important to just remain relatively respectful and try to put on airs of responsibility first and foremost.
Okay, Graham. I appreciate where you're coming from.
And I kind of give a wink to Leah and be like, Leah, I think you understand as well.
Leah has actually been traveling up with Marguerite, and the two of them are talking about making candles. They're discussing the ins and outs of candle making.
In, out.
And
Yeah.
Out.
at the ins and outs. And with that, I snap my fingers and summon my cantrip of dancing lights, which simply creates 4 torch-sized lights within range, and they float them.
Screams echo as people are confused by the sprite attack.
No, it looks like
What color are these flames?
from far enough away, it could be 4 people carrying torches.
Okay, so it just looks like torchlight. Harlan, you're
It really
so pleased
does.
with yourself.
What?
Right here.
Well, it's fair. It's fair.
I'm just smiling.
For
This is funny.
sprite-looking.
So I say to Graham, "Yes, I understand," and then I do this bit of sorcery, this bit of magic to cause some candlelight.
Oh,
And what's the reaction, Graham?
Marguerite sort of looks around.
My reaction?
Thank you.
It depends on what your reaction is. Are you being cheeky about it, or are you just sort of like...
No, I'm looking for your reaction. I'm like, see, I wasn't gonna do anything crazy.
Damn, then I'm fine with it. Because if you were cheeky, I'd cast my own light spell on you.
I'm also looking for some sort of. I mean, you're older than me. I'm 45, and that's young for a tiefling because we grow much older than humans. But you're still older than me, and so I'm kind of looking up to you in a way, in a sense that I'm looking for your approval.
And I give you a smiling nod, like an old man, like, very good.
Thank you. Like that's the type of sorcery that's okay.
Speaking of being cheeky,
Okay.
you turn and you see Quintus standing with his, not his spear in hand, but he's standing very at attention. And he says, "I will be ever the stout warrior, staunch and serious from this point on." Staunch and serious. And then I march up and follow them up the pass.
And I say, I wonder how long that'll last.
So Marguerite, accompanied by her 4 sentinels and also the 4 torch lights floating on the wind, leads you up to her farmhouse. It is a quaint little affair, kind of a cottage, just 3 rooms to it. And she sort of bustles about the place. "Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting company. Just a moment. Would you like some tea? Oh, and some of you haven't eaten." And so she bustles around in the pantry. "Leah, dear, would you mind?" And so the 2 women set out a plate of some cheese and a crust of bread, and there's sausages.
And Graham insists on
potatoes?
helping. He helps as well too. Like, he's very much like, I don't need to be waited on, and it walks in and starts cutting as well and shit.
"Graham, would you draw some water, please, from outside for the tea?" And yeah,
You got
so
any potatoes?
potatoes.
And gets this man some potatoes.
Yes, I do. Could you start the fire, please, in the hearth just there?
Of course.
So she sets about. She gives you all tasks. She asks Quintus to go outside and cut some more firewood, as he was so wont to do.
That's my stick.
And I head up the hill to fetch a pail of water.
And before we know it, everyone is settled, kind of comfortably in her sitting room with a pile of blankets on them, and everyone's munching, a kind of a wrinkly apple from last season. There's some potatoes for Tadas, as he requested. And there's some sausage and cheese and bread.
As you bring out the potatoes, the raw potatoes, I take one off the table and eat it raw. I don't eat potatoes cooked.
She doesn't say anything. She just watches you.
And I eat it like an apple.
And
Nice.
so we're sharing a meal together inside. Is there anything else you want to learn about the situation, or is everyone just keen on go to bed?
No, I do want to learn. I want to speak to... We spoke to Tados about his mountainous area. I want to speak to Leah about hers. And as we're eating, I kind of turn to her and I say, from what you told us of where you come from, it sounds rather pleasant and nice. You mentioned a bit of your family and what they did. What caused you to want to join the Undefeated?
Well, Graham, a girl can only be kept so long in the village where she grew up. We had huts on stilts to permit the floods of the tide to come in underneath us, and then we would gather barnacles. It was a beautiful existence, everything smelling like the sea. But after the fracture and the call for assistance went out from House Vorsey, I traveled to the floodplain, to where the fortress is, so that I could learn to put my arcane arts to a more useful bent. And my parents were sad to see me go, but I'll be back sometime soon after all of this is settled. Sometimes you just feel like when you have a talent like me and like you, like everyone here, that you just have to get together and try to make the world better. And sometimes that means hanging out with your parents and fishing a lot and not really doing anything else except for fishing and reading and fishing some more. But then also sometimes that means that you get to go on adventures. So I'm sorry, did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
I would hate that.
I can't wait to try fish.
It's wonderful, but I mean, very fishy. Watch out for the bones.
Ooh, I like bones.
I turn to what time about day is it? It can't be that late.
Yeah, I mean it's 8 or 9.
I'm kind of thinking that we should probably try to track them tonight, just because the more time, the more likely there's problems. And
Okay.
I agree.
What say you?
The night is young.
Who are you asking?
The other, Leah and Quintus.
Well, personally, I think cows are a lot easier to see in the daytime than at nighttime. And I also think that they've got this perimeter up around the town for more than just sprites. I think that if we go out at night, then we're putting ourselves in undue danger. And I think it's better to go in the morning.
Quintus, I think that's very, very wise of you. I'm not sure if you know, but yes, you saw the guard perimeter, so you have to. There are many monsters in these woods.
Very well, I suppose that's a good enough reason as any then to wait until morning. I do think we should speak with Leslie tomorrow morning as well. Perhaps speak to her about these taxes to understand exactly why these people are being
Taxed.
higher. I was in trouble 2 words into that sentence.
There's a couple word that I don't know it.
I think that there's actually an execution planned for tomorrow, so the mayor always attends those.
An execution? I've never seen one of those.
Yes, well, it's not very fun to see, but she, like I said, she will be there to oversee it, so that's probably where you would catch her, or else at the mayor's office.
Who's being executed?
Oh, I don't know.
What time do you know? Is it first thing in the morning? Is it?
It's usually just after breakfast.
Executions are grisly, inhuman things things that...
The gallows has seen a lot of use in the past few years.
Really? What type of problems does your small town come into?
Thefts, murders, a lot of people who are...
Small town. This is incredibly sad to hear.
Well, it seems to be becoming more common these days.
Indeed.
Fair enough. Well, it seems like we're all tired. I think we should retire for the evening. I'll take the floor. Quintus.
I'll take the floor too, Graham.
Yes, you will too. Those were the two I was speaking of.
There's kind of a low divan, and then Marguerite also invites Leah that she can come and share her bed. So,
I guess good night then.
Good night.
And Graham goes to a small corner and kneels. And he pulls out a small candle and he lights it and he sort of begins praying and saying something beneath his breath. And he puts the candle out with his fingertips. And then he falls asleep. Or goes to bed.
And before
Tados crawls into the other corner. Sorry, Quintus. And
go ahead.
Curls
Crawl in the corner.
curls up, and his tail wraps up around his side, and he's sort of on his hands and feet, and sort of like a dog would sleep.
And Quintus looks around the quiet room. And he kind of settles, and he feels himself. He kind of wills himself to relax a little bit, and the social anxiety from the day is kind of breaking away finally as he begins to relax. And he looks at the empty plate of food, and he shakes his head and he thinks, wow, they're having a bad year of harvest, barely have any food to go around. Her cows and cattle have disappeared, and here she is offering us food. Now that's compassion. And then he falls asleep.
Such a thoughtful boy.
I say to myself under my breath about Quintus.
Because you were listening.
Because you were listening to his inner thoughts. And Graham is sound asleep.
Or were you saying it out loud to yourself?
Such a thoughtful boy. Did he? Wow. He can read thoughts. He's a sorcerer.
Sorry,
Or does he think I'm thoughtful for other reasons? Because I don't think I'm giving
yes,
this.
I think you're thoughtful for other reasons.
I see.
He's
Let's
like,
go with that.
Can you two keep it down up there?
And the three of us laugh. The three of us in the downstairs room laugh and giggle like boys on a camping trip.
I think.
You remember those days?
I do.
And you don't go to sleep for hours because you're like,
Leah casts sleep on you guys.
Oh, yeah, she does. She has that too.
Yeah, she casts sleep.
Graham's
You guys
sound
know.
asleep.
All right, morning breaks.
Food.
Morning breaks. Anyone who wants to trade in any of the spells that they have prepared for the day?
Mm.
do I get my hit points back?
You do. You regain all of your hit points. You regain all of your expense
you.
spell slots.
Mm.
Any of the daily abilities that you have are all
Alex,
recovered.
what are your
Yeah.
what are your cantrips?
Cantrips are as follows: dancing lights,
Mm.
mending, which is not for health, but
No,
rather
I literally
care,
know what that's
touch.
for. Yeah.
Okay. But for those who are watching,
Sorry,
like
you're
mending a broken chain link, tear in an object, breakers, repairing a single break or tear in an object. My minor illusion, I create a sound or an image of an object within range. Shocking grasp, that's like the lightning from my fingertips. And thaumaturgy, which
How many cantrips
is
do you have? You have 5?
5, yeah.
Wow.
Dancing light, mending, illusion,
He-
shocking grasp, and thaumaturgy.
He has some cantrips from his being a tiefling. They're like racial.
Just the one, just thaumaturgy, yeah.
Cool.
And the others are for being a sorcerer.
Okay. Just wondering. We both have
So-
lights, but that's about it, redundant wise.
You have the dancing
Light is different than dancing lights.
Yes, it is. So I'm not too worried about it.
Cool. Okay.
I was just more curious.
Anyone who wants to know what Leah is working with,
Yeah.
she's
Wizard.
got Booming Blade, Firebolt, and Prestidigitation.
What is prestidigitation?
Prestidigitation is kind of like thaumaturgy, but it's more material. So I can like clean or soil an object. I can change something's color permanently, that sort of thing.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And for Graham, I have Light, Sacred Flame, and Guidance.
Cool. What's guidance?
Basically, I can touch any of you and give 1d4 to any skill.
Oh, wow. That's wicked, actually.
Yeah, actually, I could have been using that too.
And you should have been using
I
it,
should have
but
been.
now you know.
I forgot. Well, we didn't really do that much, but
No.
I have a couple spells. One is Featherfall, which is
Oh, nice.
5 falling creatures within range. It can their rate of descent slows, so that nobody takes falling damage when they're falling off a cliff or something.
John says, "Press the digits, Asian." Press the digits, Asian. That's hilarious.
And then the other one I have is Disguising Myself, which is not to the touch, but visually speaking.
That's
Just so
handy
you know,
because it
Harlan.
look kind of crazy.
Yeah. The other cool things about thaumaturgy, so you're aware, Harlan, in case this ever comes into effect and you're like, do that, I can create one of the following magical effects: booming my voice up to 3 times as loud, causing flames to flicker, brighten, or dim, or change color for a minute, harmless tremors in the ground, instantaneous sound that originates from a point or choice within range, such as rumble or thunder or the cry of ravens, or ominous whispers. Instantaneously cause an unlocked door or window to fly open or slam shut, and alter the color of my appearance of my eyes for a minute. Just so you know, I think the door slamming shut would be kind of cool sometimes.
I think that's very cool. No, I have. I can take it as well. It's one of mine as well.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've seen it.
But the audience doesn't know.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, they might. I mean, D&D is pretty. pretty like, universal.
For role playing, it's sometimes cool to
Totally.
know what everybody has, so you can be like, oh, by the way,
Absolutely, and
maybe
I also
you should
think
do that.
I think Mycl used thermite. Someone did. I know. It's been in a game I played before. Maybe not on stream, but it's definitely been used in a good way. And it's really
which
cool.
is wicked.
All right.
Change someone else's
I have
key
some.
color.
Oh man, I forgot that I'm lucky. I rolled I rolled 1 on a D20 for an ability check recently.
And that's lucky.
And well, as a halfling, I get to re-roll all ones.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
so remind me.
Good luck. Good luck.
So morning comes. Everyone is feeling refreshed. We all have oat cakes and cream for breakfast. I've decided. Marguerite heads out to milk the cows that she has left.
They're back.
We'll say she's got 3 cows of 6.
What is this? It's so.
Graham helps her.
creamy.
Oh,
He
thank
grew up-
you.
He's spent 20 years on a farm for the past.
20
For
years.
the past 20 years.
I'll go chop some wood.
And as he milks, he says, "Do not make amends for us, please. Don't worry about making breakfast. We have plenty of rations. You're trying to fend for yourself. I mean, does her house seem low on supplies? Does she seem like she might be struggling a bit?"
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, so then I tell her, "Listen, we need nothing but your hospitality, please. Do not make anything for us."
Well, I guess I was hoping that if you're able to find my cows and then perhaps deal with the sprites, then I can get the seeds in the ground, and that would do such good for me that I could afford a wedge of cheese. And
We will do that,
Yeah.
but you need not to give us any more food, and I will intimidate her. Could you imagine?
Really?
crack
Don't
your
give us. No, but I will. If she's like super sweet, I will roll persuade. I'm gonna do it anyway.
Okay.
Because I do want. Yeah, 12. So 16.
She's, I mean, as you wish. I don't mean to put you out or make you feel beholden to me.
Could you imagine intimidation on that? Don't give us
you
anything.
Dare give me?
I don't want oats and cream.
Well, I do want to persuade her because I want her, just in case, they didn't hear and they went in and they were like, "Where's breakfast?" I want her to be like, "No."
Yeah. So she's persuaded, and breakfast is had, and she shows you. I mean, you've seen the barn now.
Now, off we get to capture these bovine.
It's bovine. That's a good word. You know a lot about nature.
He knows a lot about things with horns. That's not my voice.
That's right.
You bring them back alive, yes? She kind of looks at Tados. Yes?
They always do this to me. I look at my companions.
Of course, alive. Dead would be useless.
Well, the meat would be useful.
It wouldn't
Of
be
course.
useless per se, just very inconvenient to try to drag it all the way
Useless
back.
to her.
That's very true. Unless we
We
had a
will bring
wagon.
them back alive, should we find them alive.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll, were you planning on speaking with Mayor Leslie as well?
Yes.
Yes.
And this would also be break of dawn, because I want to do it before the execution.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, let's make this a quick journey, shall we, gentlemen and lady?
Sure.
As quick as possible, yeah.
Yes, please. And I can't track, so I wipe my hands of this. Animal handling? What? Somebody?
This would be a nature check.
Alrighty.
Nature.
Where to start?
Actually, this would be a survival check. I'm sorry.
Well,
Shitty on survival.
Well, I have a +3.
That's great.
that's pretty good.
I mean,
That's
hey,
my wisdom.
Colin, guidance. Ding, ding, ding.
Oh, yeah! Well, I can't touch myself, though, can I?
No.
Well, I mean, I can, but...
Touch
I mean, I can touch myself.
Guidance gives
slide
We
this
all
here,
were
then.
going to be describing
Want you
on
to
stream.
Graham removes his penis from his fly.
Removes his penis.
It just fell off. It's gone. It's just gone.
I'm a hula. It's fun.
It's
So
all right.
sorry.
So
Guidance does advantage, right? 'Cause
it
No,
gives you 1d4.
No.
I see. Okay.
Does anyone have wisdom in any... Well, Leo would.
Yeah, I can roll with a +1.
Okay, then I will grant you... I will touch you. And I will grant you guidance
Ooh.
for a total amount of... Let's hope it's more than 2 or 1.
I don't want anybody
Nope, 1.
else.
So you have a +2.
Great. So Leah looks around the barn and tries to discern whether these cows were, I don't know. 14.
That's a new Liam Neeson movie.
Good.
Taken cows.
Taken.
Cows.
With a 14, Leah finds the places where the cows. I mean, Marguerite shows you like where the cows were tied, or I guess where their stalls were, and Leah discovers that the latches had been broken, and then there are a couple of footsteps outside in the mud, but she can't really tell if those were from today's cows or yesterday's cows or the day before's cows. Or
Can I try rolling survival in the mud then?
Absolutely.
Because I have a +3, so it's not terrible, but I figured wrongly.
What'd you roll?
19, so like 23 or 22.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Been rolling well this game.
So you cast around the pasture where the cows are let out to graze, and you notice that a section of the fence.
This cow shit tastes like human shit.
A section of the fence seems to have been like dragged, kind of in like dragged open and then replaced. And beyond the fence, there's a thicket of trees that leads into kind of the forest area, and there are some hoof prints.
I turn
leading off that way.
Tados and I say, "Could sprites move a gate of this weight?"
With enough of them? Of course. With enough of them, they could carry the cow away. This leads me to believe that there wasn't enough of them to move the cows away.
What the fuck? Okay. Man, that's the best. That's the quote of the game. That's good.
Tados, do you remember?
With enough of them, they could carry the cow away. This leads me to believe that they didn't. All right, we start walking towards the woods.
Tados, do you remember a fairy tale or like a nursery rhyme from when you were growing up that sprites have a kind of magic about them? That's all.
All right, so we start walking towards the woods, I guess.
Great.
So they've got magic about them, but not like... So they're not like squirrels.
Well, we don't know that.
I was imagining he told us, but maybe he didn't.
He didn't.
All right.
Well, I did. I said they're like chipmunks. I said they're like the size of flying chipmunks.
And if they're flying, then chances are they either have wings or they're magical. So I'll surmise that they're magical.
They're both. They're flying, magical, winged creatures. These
Well, there you
sprites.
I'm
And it
taking the
looks
lead, and I'm
Yeah,
going
you lead us the way.
because time is of the essence.
Yes, as we head into the woods.
I hate that musical. Sorry.
Nope.
Les Mis?
Okay.
No, Into the Woods. Someone commented and said Into the Woods, and I just wanted them to know.
Oh.
It's not what
Okay.
it is.
Fiddler on the
Everyone
Roof?
knows. Sounds crazy, no? But in this little village of Anativka,
See, you get it.
one of us is a fiddler on the roof.
Fiddler, please.
So as we walk through the woods, the dawn light is filtering through the bare trees. We hear the bird song that we heard yesterday, and it's very peaceful. And the bare loam from the fall and the snow that's melting away is leaving small tussocks of spring flowers. There's a couple daffodils around. It's very peaceful. Everyone's kind of just enjoying a little bit of a walk through the wilderness. And Graham is on task, like following these cow hoof prints. But they go quite a ways, and we're walking for about 15 minutes before a branch snaps in the distance.
And I
And
crouch.
walking silently, we hear it.
Yes.
I think we all hear it.
Yeah, we all do, because we're all kind of tracking this.
What was that?
I don't
Well,
know.
goblins.
Branch.
And I crouch and I take a look up ahead with my perception.
You don't see anything. I mean, a jay of some kind flies from one tree to
That's
another.
a pretty good J sound, actually.
Thank you.
I draw my bow.
Okay.
And I, my bone staff.
I guess I'll pull out my spear too.
And my axe. And
I was gonna, but I don't have an axe, so.
Oh. And I guess I'll sort of like and continue with my arrow knocked.
I like the way you did that.
That's the. And we continue on until something happens.
Yeah. About a minute later, Graham, you are hit in the head with a something.
What?
It just hits you in the head, and you look down at your feet, and there's an acorn.
Oh.
It's the.
And I put my
sprite.
bow away. And I bend down and I pick up the acorn and I take a look around. Should I roll perception then?
You definitely can. Yeah.
Okay. So with a 20 pass, okay, I got a natural 20.
What?
So then you would add your perception to that.
Oh, sorry. So 25.
Great.
Wow. It's lucky. You're on a roll.
I've been rolling
Yeah,
very
it's
well.
interesting because you
I have God's grace.
you hear the flitting of wings, but
Yes.
you don't see anything.
Okay, so I know it's the sprites, and I speak out and I say, "We mean you no harm, sprites. We are here." Do they speak like? I'm assuming Tados, you must have told us, do they speak and understand common? Is this like...
Probably. I would say they either speak fairy, which I believe is a tongue.
Sylvan?
Correct. Huh?
Sylvan?
Sylvan. Or common tongue, as most creatures do in any land.
I'll try common anyway, and I'll say...
Yeah, well, you don't speak
We mean
the
you
others.
no harm, young sprite. We understand you. I do know another. I just haven't picked it yet. I don't know what I should...
okay.
And I think my guy's a bit of a traveler, so he could be anything, but I won't until I actually choose one first. But anyway, we mean you no harm. You've taken cattle from a friend of ours who is in need of it. We just want to find it and take it back from you. It's probably not very convincing, is it? Nonetheless, please, we mean you no harm. Don't throw acorns at me.
Make persuasion.
I'm gonna have to.
Or do you actually mean them no harm?
I don't.
If you
I
do
don't
mean
mean
them
them.
harm, that's a deception.
No, I mean them no harm. I could care less about killing some sprites. I just honestly want this woman's cow back. 11.
You hear, and then like all around you, like.
Are they laughing at you or laughing with you, Graham?
Probably at me. And I turn to the others and I say, we are in the domain. Tados, you know most of these creatures. Is there anything we can do to bargain with them?
They're mischievous little devils. I don't know what there is, but perhaps we could give them something more valuable than the cattle. Why would they steal cattle? Maybe for gold. Everything loves gold. Gold is a precious metal.
As Tados is trying to convince you that these sprites probably want gold from you, Graham, you see on the path ahead of you, standing basically within the footstep of the cattle that you were tracking, a little creature has appeared. This is a very well-dressed fairy, essentially. He is wearing a little blue, like almost livery, and his wings are flitting behind him, kind of angrily.
And what I know of fairies, being a world traveler, I know that they're very demanding of respect, these creatures. So I bow my head very deep and try to grant him the most sincere respect that I can as I kneel or whatever, and I say, greetings.
And as he says that, I turn to Graham and I whisper,
The Sprite King.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
well, it's just something.
No, I'm just
role
kidding.
playing. That's what I
it's
would do. I'm
very
sorry.
cute. No, it's good. I'm just joking.
No, you're absolutely right, though. It's
This,
And
this little creature who stands before you speaks in a very small voice, but thankfully the woods are quiet enough that you can hear him. He says, I am Lord Dewdrop. And who do I have the pleasure of meeting?
And without bringing my eyes up, I continue averting them out of respect, and I say, my name is Graham. I hail from Vale. We are here on a simple mission to retrieve a young starving girl's cattle that has been taken. We wish to trade with you, perhaps, in hopes...
Graham from Vale.
Yes.
This starving girl, is she a member of the village who is burning the land around us, killing our forests?
She is a member of this village, but she does not burn your village, your trees. She is a young starving girl only wanting to milk her cattle.
And there's laughter all around in the forest.
I feel like we're in Munchkin Land.
Yeah, right? Do you have the lollipop kids, please?
I love those guys.
Graham!
We'll do a short 5-minute bit after 11. The lollipop
Off
guild.
stream.
The lollipop guild.
Graham from Vale. Do you permit me to approach you?
Yes, of course.
And the sprite takes to the air and then vanishes and then appears about 6 inches in front of your face.
And I don't move, unstirring.
and he flies and lands on your shoulder. And he takes a couple of steps towards your neck and places a tiny hand just on the side of your face. And you feel a magic coursing through you just for a moment, through your veins, and feeling like a tiny little hand is placed on your heart. And you hear him sigh in your ear. Oh, Graham from Vale. Yes. You are a good-hearted man. And
I am lawful good.
Withdraws his hand and walks back down your shoulder and speaks to you and your companions. Well, it seems that perhaps you are telling the truth, Graham. Very interesting. He does a little clap and poof, 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 all around the clearing where everyone is standing. Like 30 sprites all appear. All of them were cloaked in an invisibility. And they all are kind of like glittering and giggling and like doing somersaults in the air all around you.
And I continue averting my eyes out of respect.
I, on the other hand, do look around at all of what is going on. I can't stop. But
me too.
I don't raise my... Sorry, Quintus. I don't raise my staff, but I am on guard, you could say. Inside, in my heart. I am on guard here.
How does Leah react to all this?
She's like, oh, the whole time. So happy. If she had a phone out, she'd be like filming the whole thing.
Oh God.
Can we just go there?
Lord Dewdrop takes a low bow, actually, as he's standing on your shoulder.
And was Quintus going to say something there?
Oh, I was just going to say that I'm absolutely astounded by everything. I've never seen anything like this. And I mean, your magic is amazing, Tados, but this, oh my goodness.
And they all laugh. And there's like a sprite that's wearing like a daffodil as a dress, and she like lands on your shoulder, Quintus. And she just kind of like blushes really furiously.
You're gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, can we keep them?
And I say, Quintus, these are not pets. These are not toys. They're people. Respect them.
Well, then do you want to join us? We're on a party. We're members of the Undefeated. If you were on our side, I think we could impress a lot of people.
That's an interesting proposal. And what is your name?
My name is Quintus. Quintus Grey of House Lancaster.
Quintus Grey. Well, I'm Lord Dewdrop, as you know, and he takes flight off of Graham's shoulder and comes to hover in front of the party in the air, effortlessly. His wings are like kind of just like throwing off this beautiful like dust that catches the air.
Sparkliness.
And he's like, well, the last few years, the balance in the forest has been upset. For some reason, the farmers of this village, who used to respect us, no longer. They burn the trees. The land is crying for relief. And you say you've been to the village and you've spoken with its people. And
that's right.
He takes a second and he's like, there's an evil presence there. My people have the ability to assess the true character. And we know that there's a creature in this village that is evil beyond compare. We're fighting what we can, but we are so small. Perhaps with your help.
Her name's not Margaret, is it? That would be bad news. We ate her oatcakes.
We don't know their names, but if we had the opportunity to be in the village undetected, perhaps we could. Well, we have to touch humans and elves and dwarves in order to find out and whether their hearts are true or not. And they obviously, you felt it, Graham. You see our presence. as we do this, it's a difficult thing to do undetected, and so we can really feel that this evil is there, poisoning the village.
I think if what you speak of is true, absolutely, we can definitely stop this evil with your aid. Furthermore, if the evil is stopped and your people are at peace, then you can also leave the villagers at peace, and the two can create again an ecosystem where you benefit each other.
Yes, I hope so. Well, until then, we are forced to protect our homeland and these woods. We are their keeper.
I think we can help you, but as a sign of faith, we must trust each other. Please, release this young girl's cattle back to her.
And then all the sprites around kind of laugh, like dance.
If you come with me, we can bring you to the village, and you can touch the people and find out in a way who is the person behind this treachery. And together we can solve each other's problems, but it must start out on trust. We've come to you, heads bowed, in hopes of mending this relationship. Please, take the step towards us to help. And I will roll persuasion.
You don't have to.
Oh.
Lord Dewdrop knows your true intention. This is something that sprites can just do. And so he claps his hands again, and from the cloud of sprites that is circling around you, there is Lady Bluebell, Lord Dewdrop, Sir Morning Glory, and Madam Lilyfeather of the Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
That's a good name.
And each of them float in front one.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh, no. Each of them float in front of one another. And then the 3 cows are ours. Is anybody else there? Oh shit, is it me? I don't know if this is me. It must be me. No, maybe not. People are just dropping left and right. Oh shit.